The following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised.
Give me the stone.
You'll never get the stone.
Give me the stone.
You'll never get the stone.
Take over, darling. I think I'm in love.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Robert, Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Four Guys in a Movie, the podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. I'm a dead circus midget, and my name is Rob, and I'm joined by these sons of Satan
The CGI baseball that is Tony.
I am the icon of our destruction.
with no
You're
name
just the guy that shoots you in the chest with a double-barrel shotgun.
to save you
And I'm the invisible stairs that Julian Sands walks all over.
to heaven.
Much like
Rip
this.
Julian Sands.
Yes.
Yes, rest in peace.
Too soon, maybe. I don't know how old you are.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you know,
Well, it wasn't natural causes, so I mean,
Well, you know,
it was nature, but it's not the same thing.
mountain lion is a natural cause.
Mm.
Oh boy!
So we're starting off great.
Being too old to go walking by yourself in the California wilderness.
Yeah, Heffalump got him. Hey, so little Brickleberry over here gave us some money to watch a movie. And that movie was Warlock II. Charmageddon? Question
oh,
mark.
it's so good. It's so good. Charmed you all, I'm sure.
Yeah. Has anyone at this table seen this film before?
Well, I think one of
No,
us
for
certainly.
me.
No for you.
It's my first time.
I know I had seen it, but I didn't remember a damn thing because it was like 25 years ago.
I did not think I saw it, but after watching it, I was like, this seems familiar, so I probably did at some point, or at least some of it.
And I'm assuming you've seen it.
I have not only seen it, but I showed it to most of the people at this table.
Oh.
And I
Before
believe
I mean,
it was.
not
Yeah,
I
counting
believe
today.
it was at John's house. I'm not entirely sure.
So by most of the people, you mean
Everybody but you.
and Joe, if he's never seen it before.
No, he
I
was
don't
there.
remember seeing this.
He
Okay.
blanked it out.
To be fair, you say you haven't seen a lot of movies I know we watched.
Yeah, this one I definitely haven't seen.
That I believe.
I saw this and I played the Nintendo original version game that
There's a
came out
game
based
for
on
this?
it. Yes, there is.
And why doesn't Tony have this fact on hand?
Well, who
Because he
says I
didn't play the game.
You fired. Now,
I think I know.
yeah, you might have to. Tony,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about this movie.
Well, as you mentioned, it's Warlock II, The Armageddon from 1993. It's directed by Anthony Hickok, sorry,
Hitchcock.
who
Hickok.
who did Waxwork, Waxwork 2, Hellraiser 3, The Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat.
Didn't he do the first Warlock as well?
He did not.
Oh.
No, somebody else.
Thought I remember seeing his name in the credits
somebody-
somewhere.
What was that last one?
Somebody's passing the buck on this one. And that last one was Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat.
Sundown, the Vampire
So
in
like
Retreat.
he goes to
That
like Cancun or
Sounds
something.
like a porn.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like a
Could
softcore
be.
porn.
I believe it's supposed to be. It's sort of like John Carpenter's Vampires, like this vampire western kind of thing. But I have not seen it.
A
so-
wet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, before you get too excited at the idea, keep
Oh,
in
he's
mind,
very excited.
it's probably just this movie, but with vampires.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
As far as some information about this movie, good luck finding any. Basically, all I could find is this movie was shot in 38 days.
It was
Always
shot
a great
with
sign.
a camera, presumably.
That's debatable with some of it. The second movie, I believe, Julian Sands is replaced with Bruce Payne,
Yeah,
who,
it's for real.
Oh, Super Nintendo. Okay.
wow, dear God.
All right.
But yeah, Bruce Payne
We need to do that.
If you don't remember, was the guy with earworms from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
So,
the
big
blue
blue guy?
toothpaste mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damodar. That was his name.
Dromedary.
so
DSL Dar.
who we want to guess at how much money this movie
God.
costs to make.
I want to give you overly elaborate orders, speaking very slowly and softly, thus allowing the people to escape because I'm taking too long. Finish a sentence.
What the fuck?
Damodar. That's how he talked.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking about him.
I was
now.
like, that's not a number.
Yeah, I got what he was doing, but I was waiting for the number.
I didn't even get Damodar.
I was
like-
stalling.
I was like, is that Julian Sands in this movie? Because it's pretty much what he
Close,
did too.
but no.
Who?
This is 93.
Cost to make?
Yes,
Like 10 million?
came out in 1993.
$56.
I was going to say, don't put a million after that.
And you said 10 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say 15 million.
I'll go 8.
Rob wins. No, it's not that bad, but this was $3 million.
And you got what you paid for.
I want to guess how much it made.
This was a really good
A
movie. I'm sure
spectacle
a
of
lot of
itself.
people have seen it.
It's a horror movie. I'm gonna say $45 million.
I'm going to say like $5 million.
$20 million.
$5 million and a bunch of skeet rags from goth kids left in the movie theater.
How much are those worth?
Yeah, that might mess up the calculations here, but no, it was $3,009,000.
$3 million and $9 million.
Cool $9,000 profit.
Yeah,
As long
Yet
as
it's still got a Super Nintendo game.
yeah. Well,
that's what fueled the sequel.
okay, a few things with this though. For one, I again hard to find information on this because no one wanted to talk about it, but I kind of think this was direct to video, so that probably affected the situation. It'll come up with the ratings later too. Also, I'm pretty sure you flashed that pretty quick, the Super Nintendo game, but that was for Warlock, not Warlock
Oh
2.
no, it's
Was it?
the druid plot theme.
I remember there were
Yeah.
stones
Follow,
that were falling.
Yeah, both
on.
of them were the Druid plot theme.
Well, no, I remember one of the mechanics was you could telekinetically control a stone around your head.
the plot of the first one was the witch
Or actually,
hunter
maybe.
Red Fern,
Yeah,
But maybe,
not stones and druids and shit.
it's so
maybe they made the sequel or they made the video game for the first one, not knowing about the first one, made this weird stone thing just because is maybe like a reskin of a game they were gonna make. They just threw the Warlock name on it, and then they were like, "We have to make a sequel. Let's just make it out about the video game."
I mean, yeah, the movie could have been inspired by the video game. I don't know. That would
Warlock.
require more.
Released 1994.
Oh, probably not then.
A
Okay.
young druid warrior must find the scattered runestones through time and across the world before the
yeah.
warlock does.
We get all that. But I will say right off the bat,
And that's
like
the movie. Bye, everybody.
this movie definitely feels sort of like well, it seems to be very inspired by Sam Raimi at some points, but it also seems to be like Evil Dead 2, where someone was like, let's do the first movie but slightly better? Question mark?
Oh, it's so much.
Question mark.
We'll argue about that one.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
You say Sam Raimi. I say inspired by Sam from I Am Sam.
okay.
What actors,
Actors.
what sort of bodies are thrown into this film, Joe?
Well, you have Julian Sands as the titular Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chris Young as Kenny Travis, Paula Marshall as Samantha Ellison, and that's basically all you need.
Totally
There's
not brother and
Stephen
sister.
Kahn as Will Travis, Kenny Travis's dad.
So Willie Nelson was in it.
Didn't we get a cameo from Gremlin Boy?
We did.
Yeah, he doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
Whatever. Billy from Gremlins is in it. He sucks.
Wow. How harsh.
He does nothing in this movie.
He does.
Willie Nelson, the
He provides
Frank
the
or
warlock.
whatever his name was.
I also, yeah.
With his wardrobe.
His name was Franks.
Also,
Franks.
Let,
Okay.
us
No first name, no last name, just Franks.
want to get to this right now. Why do we have? This is now Warlock 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a warlock.
No, he's a warlock.
Yeah, he calls himself a witch.
Yep.
Both movies.
That
Calls
was,
himself a
yeah,
witch.
that was a joke in the first movie. It was like he's a witch. Witches are male and female.
So-
They committed now, Tony. They can't back out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Gotta
why-
stay the course.
Yeah, that's why Troll 3 is or Troll 2 is all goblins.
Yeah.
Because fuck.
Now, before I give myself a concussion using my own table, let's try a candy.
Oh.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have before you campfire s'mores flavored M&Ms. Ignore the trash can being dragged behind.
It is not a casket.
It's
for
very
us.
busy here at 4 a.m. Towers.
right.
Campfire s'mores M&Ms. I assume they're for fall or summer. I don't know.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there. You're definitely marshmallowy.
Huh.
I mean,
That was weird.
it's not bad,
Yeah,
but I don't want to eat them again.
Yeah, not a fan.
yeah. It's not
Like
not
I'm
as good as the staple M&M.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my pile,
Yeah.
but after that, I'm like, all right.
To me, it just kind of tastes like if you just had a bowl of Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Yeah,
That's all. I'm
I
getting.
almost got that new cereal, but I have a feeling it would have been the same kind of result. So
Had like a
which new
slight
cereal?
licorice taste to it in there somewhere.
it's just chocolate and white chocolate. So
yeah, no, it's just there's an edge of licorice.
I see what you're saying. I think that's supposed to be
yeah, I think
part
it's
of the
just
marshmallow.
white chocolate flavor. Maybe it's like an artificial smoke flavor.
No,
No,
that's the thing. I'm not getting graham cracker. I'm not getting
No.
smoky. I'm not.
Yeah.
None of that.
yeah. So Count Chocula and Boo Berry and everything have another character. It's
Cockblockula.
no, it's a Ray Skywalker. I don't know. It's like Caramella or something.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's just another mummy, but it's like caramel. apple.
Scaramella, maybe.
I don't know.
makes sense.
Probably something like
Something
that.
equally stupid. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but it's like caramel apple flavor. I think it's just Apple Jack cereal with
Are they a
marshmallows.
couple
in it.
now? Did they adopt her? Is that what's happening?
Ooh,
Oh,
romance.
yeah. I think she's the daughter of a clone of Count Chocula, but I think she's going to claim familyhood to Boo Berry
The seriousness
and
with
his
which you're taking this
his
is
lover,
great.
whatever the werewolf one is.
And then they're gonna fight the Monster Squad.
God, I hope so. All right, but this what? All right, the final thoughts.
Pass.
Unnecessary.
On this movie?
Uh,
Oh.
I was like, how did we get that?
Yeah, I
Just
don't
blacked
know.
out for the last 2 hours.
I don't know how it happened, but I was totally cool with it.
yeah, they sure are. a
Yeah,
candy.
they're kind of pass them.
If
Yeah.
you
I'd
give
eat
them
'em,
to me, I'll eat them.
Yeah.
But I
could
would
see
not
these-
buy them.
Yeah, they're definitely edible. They're just yeah.
I could mix these in with other flavor M&Ms.
Might
and
be
like,
better, yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's a fun thing to whatever.
That'd be work.
Yeah, don't bother with these.
Maybe
you,
toss them in with popcorn.
you get chopped. You
Now, what if they had done it where one of the M&Ms had just graham cracker in it, and then one of them was
think they
meant to
have
be
graham
more
cracker.
more marshmallowy, and
I'd
then
be
one was
kinda into
chocolate.
that is
Yeah.
crazy because I'm pretty sure they have like graham cracker M&Ms.
Probably.
Yeah, so you could actually make a s'more, kind
s'more,
of.
Yeah, like a mixed bag of like one that just
each
has
color is a
marshmallow
different
in it.
thing in
I
it.
saw one the other day that had cookie dough in it with M&Ms in the cookie dough,
Yep.
and it hurt my head.
Wait, was it M&M cookie dough with them?
Yes.
How big would that M be?
I think standard size, but I don't know. Again,
They were called Inception M&Ms.
No, I think we
That's
should.
what I
I think
call
we
them.
should actually corner this market. I think we should make mini M&M cookie dough,
Mm-hmm.
roll it into cookie-sized balls,
Mm-hmm.
and then coat it in milk chocolate
John is mad.
and a colorful candy shell. John is raging right now.
Can we talk about the movie now?
Oh no!
Nope.
All right.
John
So
doesn't
yeah,
like M&Ms?
final
What's
thought. M&Ms are
happening
fine.
over
Whatever. Don't eat them. Don't
Yeah, I
want them.
mean,
Get out of
yeah,
here,
yeah.
you bastards.
If I had to
Say-
do a letter grade, it'd be a C.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this fat bitch is on a pedestal.
Wow.
Or no, okay. We get an opening crawl. It's not a crawl.
I know you
but-
don't like politically correct terms, but I think pregnant works best here.
So
What
It's
did I
also
say?
an altar, not
Not
a
that.
pedestal.
all right, there's an eclipse, and we learn about the druids that it's their job to use the sacred stones to keep Satan in hell and stop the birth of Satan's son. So they're doing that. When just some assholes show up, just come riding in, like
No
condemn them as
explanation.
heretics or whatever.
No explanation whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a pregnant lady on an altar. She's
Screaming.
Her eyes have turned white. She's screaming bloody murder. I think she's firing a beam in the. No, she hasn't fired a beam in the sky yet.
No.
But
Comes from her vagine.
yeah, the
She shoots the whoop from
Yeah.
her hoop de doop.
so magic stones are produced. She shoots the whoop from her hoopty doop. Everything's fine. She's like, oh, okay, I feel much better
I'm
now.
not pregnant anymore.
And the guy's like, that's good because you're better now. Oh, crossbowed. These riders ride in and like it's doing these weird like every so few seconds it will put someone's name in the credits.
Yeah.
that
Will
bugged me.
pop up and like the screen will freeze and it'll look like ancient parchment. So you see like a guy get shot in the neck and it says like Julian Sands. And I'm like, that's not him, or did he just die?
Right.
Like,
It shows the pregnant lady. It's like two names show up on
Yeah.
the screen. You're like, is one her and one's
Unborn.
a baby?
Yeah.
I don't, what's
One was her, and,
and
the other one was her.
it
shoop-de-whoop.
happens like a lot.
yeah, and some of these still shots are pretty cool. Like there's one with the guy's getting like the sword across the back and blood spraying everywhere. But some of them are just like
300,000 gallons of blood is exploding out of his back.
some of them are just like no one's in focus or like it's just like we had to stop the film here.
I don't
'cause
even want to talk about the editing. in this
Oh,
film.
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But
I just don't want to right now.
Well, I'll start with a little bit of. It's weird because I'm certain we'll get into this more later, but I'm certain there are major things cut from this movie, and yet stuff like this is also telling me we're trying to stretch for time.
Yeah.
So it's a really odd mix.
I don't know
Like,
if it's stretched for time. I think it was just a stylistic choice that was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know because I still like because the movie's not very long and there's a lot of points where it seems like they are just like we got to fill a couple minutes because if it's under 90 minutes we can't call it a movie.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, this guy, the fact that this guy has like done exclusively sequels tells me yes, that is exactly the case.
Well, Waxwork
Just
was,
gotta-
he did the first.
Great.
So, all right,
Classic Waxwork. Can't wait for the Criterion collection.
we got to save the magic stones, right? So we give them to the oldest man in the room and tell him to run for the
Well,
hills.
it's because he's got wisdom.
He's
Run
the
for your
druid.
life. Iron Maiden, he is not. He immediately gets crossbowed.
I thought everybody just grabbed their own.
No, well, they gave like 4 to him, and then the young, healthy looking guy, he was smart enough to hide behind a rock with the other 2. So this random Inquisition grabs the 4 of the stones and fucks off. They're like, I guess we're done here. Oh no. The lady who's tied up on the altar, she's like, it's okay, I'm all right now, I feel fine. He's like, crossbow to your face.
I'll fix that.
Right in the fucking face. Then they take the stones and fuck off. And like the young guy's like, I got 2 of them, yay! And cut to high school drama club, Romeo and Juliet.
No.
And I for a hot second I thought Corey Feldman was in this film.
Yes, he does look like a Corey of some kind.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
It occurred to me halfway through watching this again with you all that this is the scene where I was like, I feel like I've seen this actress in another movie. I was like, Labyrinth?
No.
Oh my god. I was about to ask if this was going somewhere.
No.
she wishes she
No,
was Jennifer Connelly.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I thought
I mean,
she was.
Who does?
Yeah, I.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know it's pretty, but I didn't take it out for air.
So
Wait, what?
I'll show you later.
Nope.
all right, so
You help me edge.
we
Oh,
see
boy.
there's this this nerdy looking guy is operating the light the spotlight for the drama club production here.
While they're not
And
moving on stage.
They're about to kiss. Oh, he's the
supposed to be a nerd. I get that.
Yeah.
But he looks
He's
like
the-
all the cool '90s kids.
but
from
he's the kid that
90s.
has to get bullied.
But guys,
Yeah, he's a little on the scrawny side.
Yeah.
we're kind of like we're missing the fact that this is the most important scene in the film because it is the scene at which your brain has to accept the fact that the acting that you see is not going to be relegated to just the teenagers doing a school play.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
they were
problem.
reading their, it was a what?
No, that was a like they're doing, like
Yeah, it was
we're
a
high
practice.
schoolers in a play. Yes. And I too was like, well, okay, yeah, the acting's bad because they're high schoolers in a play. I totally get that. But she just kept that
going
up
the
through the
same
whole
way.
movie.
Yeah, never let up.
Here's the thing though, with the exception of Julian Sands, the acting across the board
When
is just abominable.
for me, most
No,
of
it's not good with Julian Sands either.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he knew what he was doing. He,
Yeah.
he
not
is good.
abominable. He's just
Yeah, you
he's
can
just
tell.
handing
Yeah.
it up cheesy.
Yeah, you can tell he's a good actor. He knows he's in a cheese fest, so he's eating as much scenery as he
He's like,
can.
yeah, he's like, you all get to see my cock, so I'm gonna say whatever.
But I feel like a couple of the druid guys were good.
He put his cock on screen
He sure
for
did.
$3 million. Part of $3 million.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, guys got to work.
He was like, yeah, can you just put all that makeup on around it?
Well, that's it. Yeah.
So it looks like I'm wearing like a tic
Well,
tac
that's
on
it.
my
The
front.
director was like, we at least have to cover it in slime. He's like, how about you cover it in slime?
It looks like a Tylenol floating
But
on
anyway.
top of the La Brea tar pits.
We're cutting a bunch of stuff to talk about Julian Sands' dick.
That's how the podcast always goes.
Tony never even got to finish his thought.
I don't even remember what it
Please
was.
do.
Yeah, so, Brick, you're the closest thing we have to a theater kid here. If you turn a
I thought you were going to
spotlight...
say a Satanist, and I was like, well,
No,
There's a couple ways this could
Yeah.
be going.
you turn a spotlight too quickly, the
Venn
sparks shoot out
diagrams
of
do-
No.
two separate things on a scaffolding.
no, you have to try to fuck up that hard.
Well, I could be wrong, but I think that was like a hint at his powers developing.
Maybe. But anyway, yeah, he didn't like seeing this girl Sam get kissed because this guy Andy, this Corey Feldman with a mullet-looking motherfucker, tries to make out with her.
Yeah,
Well, she didn't like seeing that either, and
Yeah.
she was part of it.
She's
he
like,
goes
I
and
gotta
kills
go.
An entire village of sand.
So he goes outside, and I'm sorry, she goes outside. Andy follows her, and Andy goes to get picked up by her dad, the Reverend, and he's Andy like comes up to the car, and he's like, "Hey, Reverend," and Reverend's like, "Hey, you want to date my daughter? Let's go
You're
to
gonna
the
bang
movies
my
with
daughter
her."
this weekend?
He's like, "I'd sure like to." She's like, "Fuck the both of you."
I'll pimp her out to anyone as long as it's not that Kenny
I
boy.
mean, to be fair, like he's probably used to the kids all coming up to the car, but they're usually just like trying to solicit his daughter for sex, and so he's trying to cut it off at the pass and be like, "You here to ask her out?"
No, that's the thing. He's not. His thing is literally, as long as it's not Kenny, I'll let her, whoever take her wherever
Well, he
and
also
do
gets a
whatever.
cut, so-
Hey, son,
I
you
think
got that bribe I sent you?
I think Andy's trying to collect. The Reverend's trying to collect a dowry from Andy's parents.
So, yeah.
It could be.
But anyway, he's like, "I want a sweet pickup truck too." But
Are those
So-
rims chrome?
here's a little thing to screenwriters out there. A little tip: if you're gonna give
Learn how to
your main
write.
character two first names as his name,
Ricky
don't
Bobby.
say his last name first. Because the first time we hear this kid's name, the theater director screams Travis. So I'm like, okay, he's Travis. And then everyone's calling him Kenny like 5 minutes later. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Travis Kenny,
I'm like, I know this this kid's name's Travis.
NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Travis Kenny.
So,
Or
I'm
Kenny
surprised you
Travis.
didn't pick that up from the bookstore.
What?
What?
Their whole hideout is in
Well,
a
it's Travis
bookstore called
Books.
Travis Books.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
owned by
didn't
their
even notice
family.
that. Yeah.
but
Who the-
at that point, though, I was like, why the hell did they keep calling this kid Kenny if it's Travis?
I get you.
So by that point, I did not have my detective cap on. I had also seen Julian Sands' dick.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing though, like he's gonna be such an iconic character like Indiana Jones,
But-
Travis
so-
Kenny. You know his name.
So now Andy goes to bully. He calls him Travis too, but goes to bully Kenny for a bit. Kenny's dad walks by, Mr. Travis, looks at him, turns on the lawn sprinklers, and they're like, "Oh no, we gotta go!"
Turns on the lawn
melting.
sprinklers with his mind.
With his mind, yeah, using his magic druid powers. And they
Gonna
fuck
ruin my
off.
makeup. I gotta go.
That well-known sect of Christendom, the Druids.
But we get a slight bit of foreshadowing here because this ambush from the bullies is facilitated by a bright burst from this truck's headlights. Mm-hmm. And that'll become important later. And yeah, we also found out that Andy was calling Kenny satanic. So you're like, there's some supernatural stuff going on here. But I wrote in my notes. Oh, never mind. Sprinklers. Okay, never mind. So now we cut the same old man who we don't know yet is Kenny's dad is walking, and everything in town is shaking, and there's like a tree stump that's cordoned off like it's a special tree.
That's where Arnold Schwarzenegger popped out in the last time.
Yeah, and that got hit with lightning, and it's making the sawdust dance about, and he's like,
Yeah, the
"Oh
trees,
no."
tree's hollow, just full of sawdust.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. So he's like, "This is a sign of his birth."
Because it says B.
Yeah. And that
For birth.
that triggers the editor to decide that I guess the director to decide that the next shot needs to open on what I call unsteady cam, of just a camera swooping around this apartment like a spooky ghost or something.
Yeah.
Again, we want to be Sam Raimi, but we're not.
Yeah. And we see a naked lady and talking to a Pomeranian about her dress or whatever. And
what all
then
women do
putting on her family
when you're not
heirloom.
watching.
I feel the nakedness in this movie, aside from Julian Sand's dick, which had more screen time than a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
I feel the nakedness in this movie is almost non-existent. It's all like blink and you miss it.
But there are a bunch of unnecessary.
Yeah,
titties.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's brief, but at the same time gratuitous because it's just completely unnecessary. Yeah,
You know.
So
I know that.
I mean, I'm not saying the plot's bad.
because this. Yeah,
it's saying the plot's bad.
We
The
haven't
movie
gotten to that
itself
part of
is
the
saying
podcast.
this
Yeah.
was again part of that transition from the 80s movies where we're like, here's a slasher movie where there's a bunch of ladies getting topless to get killed and whatever, and so you get your TNA,
Right.
into the 2000s where it's like, we got to pretend like sex isn't a thing.
Well, and also, this is definitely going to get cut out for the inevitable TV release.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll make it as brief as possible.
So, so yeah, this lady, she's getting dressed because she's got a date coming to watch the eclipse. She puts on her family heirloom.
It's actually a doggy date, but
Yeah, and she's looking out the window at the eclipse when suddenly she's telekinetically thrust upon the table and like stigmata'd by all the broken glass and whatnot, and becomes pregnant and gives birth to
hairball.
just a yucky
Marmalade
discharge.
baby.
it looks like the shit that my cat used to cough up.
Yeah, it's like,
I
don't.
just coughed
Like,
that
if you
out.
got a big date, don't go to Taco Bell.
Mm.
Because you will end up pregnant on a table with a poop
it
with a poo baby.
kind of reminded me of the worm baby from Eraserhead. It was just
Sure.
Pretty much,
nasty
yeah.
looking.
And it immediately scoots off the table and gets in the corner. And the Pomeranian comes over and is like, I'm going to lick that. And this horrible mass is like, all right, well, I'm going to eat you. And then it like throws her off the table and she falls on the ground and is bleeding from like everywhere. And just Julian Sands is born from like a condom coming from this horrible
Yeah, like an urukai.
monster. Yeah, like an urukai. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way he rises up through the goo pile, like he's being 3D printed in real life
Yeah.
and then raised up as the layers get added.
Hellraiser, this is not.
Yeah, yeah. He's a little mush ball that eats a dog and then becomes a man.
Yeah, he does not eat that dog.
Oh, right.
He does that thing that Hulk does to Loki in the Avengers.
Right. I'm sorry. I forgot
It
about
looked
that.
like it kind of sucked the juice out of the dog while it was
Yeah, he
doing
sucked
it.
the
probably-
juice. He was sucking that dog, but he also whipped it around by its head.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Give it the old
He whips-
suck and whip.
he whipped someone's pound puppy toy back and forth.
So we pretty much witnessed the worst birth ever. And this woman is like, she's crawling away from Julian Sands now, who is buck naked and just has a large black smear around his crotch,
Yeah.
but not enough to hide the shadow of his
There's
colossus.
no shadow.
It's
Come and give your boy a kiss,
Julian
mother.
was very, he's modestly sized, and it was, yeah, it was no shadows there. It was, yeah.
But yeah,
Looked
this
like
is,
he had picked it out in suntan lotion.
this is again one of those points where I'm like, I don't know
mayonnaise.
if you think you're building tension or you're just trying to stretch for time. Because she just like slowly crawls to the bathroom, which I get her moving slow, but he's just like, I'm gonna stumble slowly after
he's
you.
enjoying this.
Maybe that stuff all
guess.
around his dick is burning.
But-
He doesn't seem to be that bothered by it.
So she
likes
goes in the bathroom and sits on the edge of the bathtub, and he floats up to the window above the bathroom door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing that bathrooms have.
I don't
In movies?
remember where I've seen that before, but I think historically that
They-
was actually
they
a
do
thing,
exist.
especially in apartments.
But so yeah, he's like, "Let me in, mother," and she's like, "Fuck you." So he has this like baby scream tantrum so loud that everything in the room explodes.
Including ruptures or ears.
Yep. And presumably that kills her, but that's the last we see of her.
Well, not really.
Unless we see her alive.
that's right. That's right.
That's
That
the
is not the last
her
we see of her. Yeah, she does not explode. Her body is intact.
Yep.
So now I'm still calling him Travis in my notes. He
fine.
walks into his house and his dad's like, "Play me in chess. Let's waste time." He's like, "Gotcha. We can do it." And he's like, "I'm going to
One
go."
in the morning, I just made coffee. You want some? On
He's
a
like,
school night?
"I'm going away to college soon, and no one cares, but we're mentioning it anyway."
We,
And-
we need to do a lot of exposition really quickly. So I know it's a school night, but come have coffee so we can quickly play chess. So you can tell me you'll come back from college so I can tell you how much I miss your dead mother so we can like just
he whoops his dad's ass in like 3 moves. His dad's like, "All right, well, now we'll just cut to a naked Julian Sands reaching into his mother's head and talking to Satan."
Sure.
Because that's what you do. So he's like, "Satan, what's the plot hook on this? Tell me the MacGuffin. What do I got to do?" And,
Dungeon Master, tell me what
Yeah.
the plot is.
so Satan's like, "All right, you got 6 days. You got to find these stones. Burn this woman's abdomen into a map of the continental United States and just follow the blood trail." And like, this map is of dubious use at best because it's like,
Everything in this movie is dubious.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's not exactly like you can't zoom in or anything. So it's like, go over here.
West.
Like,
just keep going that way.
we use a line that's like the size of the Mississippi River to tell you where you have to go.
I also like, yeah, it is once again, ancient druids a millennia ago had to fight off the devil, and now we have to do it again and collect all these stones that are conveniently all just in the United States.
Yeah.
That's why we'd go out anywhere else ever.
In the first movie, there was some sort of thing of like, he had some questionable motives of like, I want to be the guy, I want to like usurp the devil here and find the name of God. And, what do I get if I do this? This time he's just like, "Okay, Satan, let's
let's bring
yeah.
your baby." Maybe he was gonna steal it and raise
Maybe.
the baby as his own.
He's just like,
I'm Satan. You're
No,
my
he is the
son.
baby.
Yeah, he is the son of Satan.
Satan's his daddy,
Bringing
and he's
his-
a good
yeah,
son.
Yeah.
He's bringing his daddy into the world.
So earlier
he wasn't a
was
good
like,
son last movie, but
"Not
Yeah,
the
He
mother."
learned his lesson.
he did. He learned his lesson. That's true. He went down to hell. Him and his dad had a talk.
But
That's
see,
fair.
even that, it's debatable if he's even the same character from the last
Yeah.
movie, because who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
There's no real
They had a little
connection.
coming
Well,
to
you know.
Satan meeting.
Yeah.
Satan gets around the block. There's a couple of them.
So now,
And they all look like Julian Sands. They're only distinguishable by their haircuts.
poor Billy from
We followed the
Gremlins.
bowl cut one this time.
He shows up
On their
expecting.
head. Okay.
He shows up expecting to date this girl. Look at the eclipse. He said he gets a naked Julian Sands, and he's like, "Who are you?" And Julian Sands is like, Ooh, black.
It's like,
I mean,
And then
I didn't bring any friends with me, but I can make some calls.
cut to
Him getting
Julian
blacked.
Sands, wearing a black suit and walking across the street, not afraid of cabs. And he meets Hector, who's like, "Oh, you must have some big balls, sir." And he's like, "I like
It's
you,
like, yeah,
Hector.
you want to see him? Everybody else just.
I'm going to turn you into a car-driving zombie
Yeah.
for reasons." Yeah, now we cut back to Kenny and this girl, Sam, and like they're flirting at a lake, and he's like, "You got to come to Berkeley with me." And she's like, "Nah, I got to stay here. I don't know why." And he's like, "It sucks here, blah, blah, blah. Let's argue about some stuff. No one cares." We cut to some old dudes in a basement watching a gyrosphere spin around, and it reveals a cockroach. And you're like, "All right. That means the Warlock's here. Sure."
All right, Billy, you ready? Time to fuck.
Yes. You're just like, whatever, movie, you're the boss. So
Druids, man.
yeah, we gotta get the warriors ready, but this one guy is like Ethan, he's like,
come
"I'm
out
gonna
and
go
play."
I could go slow him down." They're like, "Sure you can." just go off and get killed.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Here, this Asgardian compass will show you the path to the Warlock." And it'll jiggle really excitedly when you get close.
And it'll stir in a quarter when you turn the lights on.
Oh, is that it? Nah, that's your life alert bracelet.
Now we cut to the Warlock just sitting in a prophecy-like manner in the backseat of the cab. And he's being driven around by dead Hector, zombie.
Well, I mean, he's doing the driving. Hector is just, he's showboating.
So Kenny and the and Sam, they're still arguing by the river. And then, like, Sam's dad shows up with a double-barreled shotgun and this guy named Franks. And Sam's like, "I gotta go." And there's really weird slow motion. So she's like, "I gotta go," and just starts running in slow-mo. And Kenny's like, "Why is everyone in slow motion?" His dad like walks up with the shotgun.
Again, are we trying to be stylistic or are we trying to fill time? I don't know.
Or are
I
we
don't-
just
drama.
playin' inept?
Yeah, really
Drama.
bad at
a little of all.
directing.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
mean,
"Hey, Dad, what you gonna do with that shotgun?" Funny thing about that.
yeah.
Just blasted Kenny. And like, "All right, we just murdered my son. Let's bring him to the basement and give him some sprinkles, some magic leaves, a little."
Some
That-
sparkles.
That is the
Sparkles.
kind of sparkles that inspired me to make my cereal when I was a child.
Okay.
The sparkles of druids.
Now-
Yeah, this is like Fantasia level, like animated sparkles.
Yeah.
It's very
Pixie spunk.
gem and the holograms sort of deal there.
Kenny wakes up, he freaks out, farts. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" This guy Franks is like, "Oh my God, he's back alive!" Woo, 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 and just chasing him around the basement. And
Well,
meanwhile,
they don't get out.
Papa Travis is like, "I can't really run, but you should probably stop doing that, Franks. You're really scaring the boy." And Kenny's like, "Cut to Chicago, anywhere but here." So we cut to a fashion show in Chicago where some techno song entitled "What Can You Do For Me" is playing.
Wow.
And we're seeing these ladies in these not so good dresses walking about.
Yeah, it is a B-roll waste of time.
And then we get a Julian Sands in the audience just looking all intense.
Yeah, so there's this fashion show going on. And granted, all of these women look either like the 90s or the 80s or the awful.
They're attractive ladies. They're
yeah,
just
yeah,
the
don't-
victim of unfortunate
Yeah, they're
circumstances.
all-
Victim of
Yeah.
1993
Yeah.
fashion.
It's probably the time.
Yeah. So you got all these. Then the whole thing is like it's all paparazzi. They're all taking photos endlessly, and then
But they sound like gunshots.
They sound like gunshots, and then Julian Sands is just standing there like the creepiest creeper you've ever seen.
In fairness, though, like in these fashion shows, there's probably more than one guy looking at the ladies like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And
That's
he's
fair.
he's that guy at the fashion show that's the guy you want looking at you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
Or
sees
that's the guy that's going to stalk and murder you.
one of
Yeah.
these ladies
one or the other, 50-50.
Yeah, those are not mutually exclusive. Sorry.
is wearing one of the magic stones as an earring.
It's a very dainty, tiny earring.
Stone looks like it'd
that-
rip her ear off.
Yeah, it's not that dainty or tiny.
It's like a flail.
So he's just like, all right, I'm getting up on stage and following this woman into the back of the show.
Sure.
And, everyone's just like, oh, he's so
This
sexy.
is
Oh, it's
19,
it's
yeah.
Hansel. He's so hot right now.
And
this is
the-
1993, so security wasn't invented yet, right?
This is the space stone, if I'm remembering correct.
Sure, I think it's the Mind Stone.
The mine. Okay, all right.
It might be.
So he walks back there, and some woman is like, oh, you're so sexy, but you can't be back here. And he's like, I want the stone, and you're going to give it to me freely. Those are the rules.
They say you are not Eastern European enough.
Yeah. And so
I love her line is men have no rules.
he's like, just follow me. And she goes to her assistant, and she's just like, take over, darling. I think I'm in love. And the editor,
He chuckles
the sound
like an
editor, chooses to like just ADR in her like
Oh, yeah.
as she's walking on the roof. You're like, did you just walk up too many stairs? Like you have
Which-
asthma?
Having a stroke.
Now that you brought it up, let's not forget that throughout this whole thing, there's terrible ADR
Oh, yeah.
left and right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think the worst one we already passed was when the druids were around playing with the little bug compass or whatever. One of the guys just clearly, like, full in frame of the camera is just like, blah, 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 blah. And it just, like, you just hear so much for my 70th birthday. And it's like, that is not what he said at all.
I think
right,
what he
so-
actually said was, "In my day, we could just kill people like this."
Maybe. I don't know.
They're like, what, the cockroach?
the
Talking about?
kid,
Never made it
the
without
kid
biting.
keeps complaining. We would have just sent him down to the mines and let him die of
So-
black lung,
The warlock,
like a man.
now, he decides to seduce this woman with questionable special effects. He's like, step on this platform that was a green screen, and we'll pretend like we just got lifted up in the sky.
Questionable morals and special
Yeah.
effects on it.
She's like, oh my god, I got such a lady boner right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me the stone. Although first he's like, do you want to go higher? And she's like, I mean, yes. And then he's like, he takes her higher, and he's like, now give me the stone. And so she hands it to him, and that's like the magic. He can't take it. It has to be given to him willingly. So
Except when that's not
yeah,
convenient.
we'll get to that. But
Well, we already passed it because that first lady, he just killed her.
well, she was already dead.
Yeah.
But that's not what you said. Like, they needed to give it to you willingly. Then you can kill her.
Okay, he didn't kill her. Everything that exploded in her bathroom did.
Yeah.
That he caused.
Well, I mean, it was
I'm
off
just
camera.
I'm just saying, we start out going like, fuck the rules. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, wait, they're rules. And then we're
So
like,
you know
no,
how-
don't
They
worry
have
about
no
those
rules.
rules.
We don't know she was dead in the bathroom, and we don't know what happened between when he screamed at her and when she's lying there on the table.
I sincerely doubt there was a spot in the middle there where she was alive enough and being like, yeah, you can take this from me. That's okay.
Also, you missed the part where he calls Dad back, and he's like, "Is there anything else that I need to know?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's these rules that you have to follow.
Don't feed them after midnight.
Don't forcibly
Don't get
take
them
the
wet.
stone."
But even that, you're telling
Also-
me he's like, hey, is there any rules I should know? Like, yeah, don't feed him after midnight. Like, oh, well, I just fed one after
Okay.
midnight. Like,
Yeah.
don't.
So
First one's a mulligan. You're fine. Just
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going. Like,
he
yeah.
probably did exactly what he does here, in that he promises them something. In the case of his mom, it was probably, I'll make all the suffering will stop, or I'll heal you, or whatever, and I'll leave. You just have to give me that stone. And then
Give me the stone, or I'll
yeah.
kill your
So
dweeb
like this
boyfriend.
woman gives him the stone, and he's immediately like, all right, you're no longer of any use to me, and just drops her. And she falls through the skylight onto the stage. Blood flies everywhere. And,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, she's a
she
water
lands
balloon.
fully on the stage and comes to a stop.
right as
Everyone,
they're introducing her.
yeah. Everyone gets blood on them, and then suddenly there's blood everywhere when the camera cuts
Yeah,
back.
it's like they cut the camera and brought Gallagher in.
Yeah.
All right, man, do your thing.
yeah.
And then they take a page out of the room, and they're just like, Janine, or whatever her name is. It's like,
Oh.
she has a whole plate of glass right through her rib cage.
Is she going to be okay?
She's not going to respond to that.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, he probably did that to her to get the necklace or whatever. Anyway,
he made Billy get it.
yeah, we're gonna egregiously violate the rules even more as this goes on. So anyway,
Rules of the Geneva
so
Convention.
he's got his second stone, and yeah, it's a lunar eclipse now. Oh, that's right. No, Kenny's dad's telling him that there's a lunar eclipse. There'll be 6 days where God has no power on the world. And
He's on vacation.
then there'll be a solar eclipse at the end. And as long as he gets the warlock gets the stones before then, he can bring Satan into the world and God can't stop it. But again, like in the first movie, you're just like, well, God could just stop it after the 6 days are over.
No.
When he gets his
There are
power back.
rules.
Like,
That's like, yeah, because once the moon is covered, he can't see.
yeah, that's it. He's like, fuck, get out of the way.
I don't know what's going on. This is crazy.
Is that what it is? The moon is God's eye, and it's just like, no, I can't do anything.
Oh, I
Damn
should have carried the one when I was thinking about where the moon went.
That's what
The eye
the
of
devil wrote.
Yawaman.
He wrote some message on the back of the moon that was in like big letters at first. It keeps getting progressively smaller. And God's just like, huh?
I was thinking that was more like it's on me, really. I said you could do this once every millennia. I didn't think we'd ever get to a millennia. I thought it was a made-up word. It's only fair.
Man, time flies. Is that time already? Oh,
So-
shit.
Again, I use the coping strategy I have to get through movies like this, where it's like, all right, movie, you're the boss.
Yeah.
let's keep going. So
You just put your notes down.
I'm impressed that you got this far, because
well, no, I've said that a few times already.
I think at the very least, by the time her skin kind of just peeled off and became a map, I was like, oh, sure, this is what we're doing. All right.
A 1 centimeter thick map.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
So-
whatever.
Now back in whatever butthole town our main characters are living in, all the birds are dead, and the
That's
crowds.
all we know here.
The crowd's just like, all right, well, that has to be the Travis's doing. Rabble, 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 rabble. And the Reverend's like, now, all we know is that all the birds are dead.
Which he and everyone else in the movie repeats
Mm.
over and over and over.
I love how his whole like explanation starts. And he's like, "Well, I think birds die."
Yeah, so-
Yup.
That's all we know.
Birds, you
Hey, sometimes birds just die.
I think
Maybe 2,000 at once. Who knows?
one died, and then the other one felt so sad he died, and then after that, this one had a weak heart anyway.
Do you know what the chain of depression is? It's a chain reaction of it anyway.
That's right.
So,
I mean,
They're all giving
93
themselves-
actually. Sonic Boom overhead could have done it.
Yeah, the old Cobain. Now, it's not helped by the fact that the preacher is like the worst actor in the film,
He's pretty bad.
and maybe his daughter is number two.
Yeah, his daughter definitely inherited that.
and we get this kind of pointless part where it's Kenny, Franks, and Mr. Travis are there, and the Reverend walks up to him and is, doesn't really say anything of import, and then Sam kind of walks over in slow motion again, and the Reverend sees Kenny looking at her. He's like, "Sam, let's go," and we're like, "All right, that was nothing." And then it
Heal, dog, heal.
cuts to them to Franks and Mr. Travis talking in their house about like, well, we have Franks is like, I have this spell that could hurt the warlocks, maybe slow them down. I'm gonna try that, and
It involves a nail.
yeah,
And
Travis.
they have-
Travis is like, that's not gonna work. There's only one way to kill the warlock. We need to train the warriors, whatever. So this is the one part of the movie where they tried to capture some of the spirit of the first one, where there was just random bullshit that could like fuck with the warlock, that didn't make a lot of sense, but was kind of fun at the same time. So they're like, we're just gonna do that once in this movie, and that's like the only weakness the warlock has, other than to this one magic dagger. So they do some ritual where you have to have like a feather or twig or something, and some elderberry and whatnot, and a leaf.
Mandrake blood and
Mandrake blood. That's what
has
it was.
to be during the time of the darkness. And
So meanwhile, we get this other questionable scene, the most Evil Dead part of this film, where the cab pulls up to a gas station, and this guy gets out of the gas station, and he's like, "Oh, geez, mister, you know, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I can't, for some reason, see that there's a fucking corpse
Also,
behind the wheel.
Let me
until
repeatedly demonstrate my IQ of 4.
Yeah, until I'm 1 foot away from it."
Now, that said, he is probably the most likable character in the film.
Yeah, this guy is great. This gas station attendant.
He's really nice.
He's just super helpful.
So Julian
Did you
Sands,
realize
I don't know how to tell you this, but
Your buddy's dead.
he
like
turns,
dead as disco.
he's looking at a car that is a Confederate flag away from being the General Lee.
Yeah.
And he,
In fact, they probably had to like paint over that,
Yeah.
so that they would not get noticed.
And he's-
I'm okay with that.
he looks at the gas station attendant who's like, your friend's dead. And he's like, "Does this car go fast?" The gas station attendant's like, "Yeah, it goes real fast." And then that's when Frank stabs the leaf with a twig, and he's just like, just, all this black blood is just shooting out the side of his
Green.
face.
It looks like he's spraying like green spinach puree. It's gross.
Yeah, the gas station attendant refers to it as black blood.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's bluish green, but it like tends to coagulate as black. It seems.
Yeah, but this dude is really excited about knowing this car goes fast.
It blew his mind.
It blew his everything.
He's like,
Ba-dum-bum,
"Wow,
ba-dum-bum."
that's the weirdest reaction I've ever seen anyone have to my car."
You're bleeding everywhere, man.
Yeah.
What do I
Anyway,
do? Tell me what to do.
Yeah, Frank starts repeatedly stabbing the leaf, and Julian Sands just.
Yeah, he's just going down.
He's like a shower head of black goo.
But there's no ritual. There's no part of this ritual that tells you that it's working. So Frank's just like, nothing's happening. And he's like pounding the leaf with his fist. And like Julian Sands is getting pummeled.
Well, does he not know that it's working, or he knows that it's working? And he's just going ham?
No,
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't know
just-
what because he's like,
He
oh, I
feels so
wish I,
helpless.
you know, I feel so helpless or whatever, and he's just like, damn.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
But yeah, which is a shame because literally, like, if they were just like, hey, let's spend the next 6 days doing this, they would have been fine.
Now, Travis' dad is like, it's an old wives' tale, just like we are.
Meanwhile, this gas station attendant is like, "Oh, golly gee, mister, you're bleeding everywhere. Oh, it's squirting." And he's like trying to put pressure on it.
On all of his holes.
Yeah.
It's a brownie, the quicker picker
Yeah,
upper.
I don't know if he was trying to put pressure on it or like put his finger in it like a dam.
So Julian Sands is
How did we get
lying-
that much pressure in this squim?
He's lying on the ground, and the guy's like, "Oh, I gotta get you to a hospital.
You lost a
You
lot
lost
of
a lot of blood." So Julian Sands is the warlock being the warlock.
Something.
Why don't you fill me up?
From your eye.
Get
And
it?
then
Because we're at a gas station?
Yeah, it's a very tasteful love scene. I
And
think.
he's gay.
Well, it's about the sexiest sucking of another man's eyeball out.
Oh, is that
Let
what
me
he
tell
does,
you,
though?
it is hard from like
Don't
closed
finish
eyes.
that
was that?
sentence.
It is hard from
Nope.
closed eyes to bite somebody else's eyeball,
Nope.
directly biting their eyeball. I've
So-
done it. It's hard.
Now he's eating this dude's eye. Did not. Oh wait, no, he does start drinking his blood after that. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Either way,
Juice bagged him.
He
Yeah.
sucks on this guy for a while.
so while I was recovering from that, I then got waylaid by this horrible composite 2-shot of Kenny and his father.
We're all right. You could tell they just filmed it separately and just cut one half of the screen and layered it over, like sandwiched it together.
I guarantee you, they were like, I've seen movies where they have the person in the foreground and the person in the background, and they switch focus, and do that, and that's really stylistic. And
It's the
somebody was
bokeh
like,
I was like, "Fuck that."
well,
Put it
yeah,
on
no,
screen
I
at
think
the
somebody
same
was
time.
like, yeah, we can't afford cameras that can do that, so we'll film them at separate
AKA
times.
cameras.
Well, they had cameras, but yeah, they were clearly like filmed at different times and then like put together poorly.
So yeah, one half of the background of this shot is out of
Crystal
focus.
clear.
Yes.
And once, yes. Oh my god.
Like what the fuck? But it's distracting me from I believe this is the point where Mr. Travis tells Kenny that he has to fight the son of Satan. And Kenny's like, but I don't want to. And he's like, you don't get a choice, son.
I can't even fight the school bully.
Yeah.
You're a Jedi, Billy.
I
Or
can't even
whatever
fight
it
my
is.
virginity.
Kenny.
Yeah, we even get the. I didn't ask to be shot.
He's like, well, he's like, sit here and listen to the trees or whatever. Your training starts tomorrow. I'm going to go sit on the porch so the Reverend can come yell at me. The Reverend's like, you're not getting my daughter. And,
There have to be two, Ted
Yeah.
Bundy.
there has to be two. And then, meanwhile, Julian Sands, the Warlock, just to be a dick, he's like, oh, look at this bunny. Just runs that over with the General Lee.
Yep.
Ah, the Wild West.
Yep. That doesn't make sense, but
No.
whatever.
See, this is the thing where weirdly we have like two different movies. Again, this leads to my theory somewhat of like cut scenes and things like that. Because we have one movie that is mostly around Julian Assange. He's this evil guy. He's
Julian
Okay.
Assange?
whatever.
Julian
Ruin a
Sands,
brick?
the Warlock.
Julian Sands, yes. Sorry.
Also a Blondor.
I can't even call him a warlock. He's not a fucking warlock. He said when he was called a warlock, he was pissed about it.
You're mocking me.
Call him Mr. Witch.
Mr. Witch. But fuck, I'm getting so derailed now. Okay, but he's going around, he's collecting these things, and he's doing like Wishmaster-esque like death scenes for everybody, which is really bizarre and kind of horrible. And then we keep cutting back to this like 90s style superhero movie with these kids and shit and like goofy jokes like running over a rabbit and going wild country or whatever the fuck that is. It's really
the
weird.
Wild West.
Yeah, it does not have that same sort of like the first movie balanced it a lot better where there were scenes where they wanted you to be scared of the Warlock, and then there are scenes where they're like, this is just fucking stupidity.
Yeah.
And then scenes where he's drinking child fat to fly.
But yeah, like it occasionally would do weird jokes and stuff, but this is like literally like scene to scene can be drastically different in tone.
So now we cut to Kenny's training, and the first lesson in using your druid powers: fetch the ball.
Yeah.
Get the ball, boy. Go get it.
Get the ball.
Throws a baseball into the field. Kenny uses his druid powers to make the ball fly around with some really bad CGI.
Yeah, to the Skywalker theme, which
It was really, yeah.
It was very close.
Oh,
to-
yeah.
Yeah.
like I'm surprised somebody didn't get sued.
Oh, I'm
close.
pretty sure it was played to someone at Lucas Ranch, and they're like, "You tell me when it's a lawsuit, and I'll stop right there."
And they're like, sir, look at the film. What do you what do you really think we're doing? Yeah.
They have
What-
a
yeah,
copy
what are
of
we
the
gonna
Christmas
get?
special.
Yeah.
You know, on second thought, I'll pass.
Actually,
It really
no.
is like poetry.
Next lesson on your druid powers development: hyperventilate into a bag
Yeah.
Sure.
You gotta do it.
till it bursts.
Yeah.
Instead of the paper bag blowing up, it blows up the tire on this truck.
This kid sucks.
This all this was missing was like Evanescence, I think.
Evanescence.
Well, if we're going to the 2000s,
Yeah, but still, you know, like
yeah, we haven't gotten to Electra yet.
the horrifying CG.
Oh,
so
Oh yeah, oh my god,
use your words.
this basketball or this baseball.
it's bad.
Oh
the right
boy,
This isn't even the worst time the baseball is used in the film.
no, and this is not by no
Yeah.
means the worst CGI we're gonna see in this film.
And
But holy shit,
Is this even CGI? Because it looks like they just took 3 still shots of a baseball and just
Rotating.
cycled through.
that's the thing. It could be a composite shot. It could be CGI. I can't really say.
It's bad.
All I can say is it looks awful.
It was definitely CGI later with the dash.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's
For
this is probably
sure.
just a bad CGI render
But-
baseball.
You think it was like the same Rookie of the Year? You think they just used
Yes.
the same effects?
Yes.
They found them at a yard sale. They were like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was what you're gonna use, but you still have to render it. Yeah, fuck's good enough. Throw it in.
I
Kid
don't
can
know what that means.
he can throw baseballs. He can hyperventilate. Day one's an unequivocal success. They go home to celebrate, and like the kid walks away, and Frank's is like, "You sure this kid's gonna be able to do it?" And Mr. Travis is like, "The kid's gonna be fine. I'm sure of it." something like crashes in the next room. You're like, wah, wah. And then we get to probably overall the weirdest part of this film, the House of Horrors.
Oh, I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
We just randomly, there's just this.
It's like an episode from Twilight Zone. This entire section. It's just totally.
There's this little person
By way of
who is-
goosebumps.
Did you
Well,
know
yeah.
Nilbog is goblins spelled backward?
All right. So there's this small person
Go-
dressed up
go
like a jester clown kind of thing, and you're just
I think she's a fortune teller.
yeah.
she is.
But you're the way she's only on the screen for a little bit and like moving in a weird way. So you're like, is that a goblin? And I mean, I don't feel bad in saying that because like the movie, because the movie's just like split second. There it is. There's gone, and your brain's just like trying to make something out of it.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So,
What a fucking goblin! God damn!
A goblin or a boglin?
yeah. So the guy running this
Give
show,
him a goblin net.
That might have
yeah,
been a boggle.
he looks like a slightly leveled up Clint Howard,
Sure.
which is still not. That's not much.
No,
like
no,
not too many stats increase.
I mean,
but,
that's the free upgrade you get in tutorial mode.
You got like 2 ticks beefier for
yeah.
sure.
You get a
But
little,
that's about
little
it.
taller. None of your ability scores improved. So
You have opened achievement chin.
So like he throws a quarter to the little person jester who takes it and bites it and he's like, go buy yourself a steak or something. And
Really
then
nice steak.
you're still trying to
Large
process what's
steak.
happening.
Oh, okay.
Friggin' the warlock shows up and just starts like talking the good shit at God for no reason. You're like, of all the things to interact with here, you're just yelling at the heavens.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
it's
Well, no,
not just
he's-
yelling at the heavens. Yeah,
He's
to
yelling at the fortune teller.
to kind of add to your point of maybe it's not necessarily onto us for making fun of this poor person, but he basically is like, how can you believe in a god that will allow things like you?
yeah.
Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind
Yeah.
of what he says.
But it's
So-
sometimes like, what do you mean believe in, dude? You're talking to Satan earlier. What? What is your theology?
Oh well, I think he knows what's up, but he's just like, like, why are you cool with
How
this?
could you put your faith in?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
Using
you,
but at the
belief in
same
a
time, the
different
people
way.
he
like
was talking
you
to-
people run around Earth are all like, yeah, God's cool and everything, and yet fucking look at you. Like, that's what he says.
I know I say that a lot to people, but
So he comes up to the main guy. And he's like, "All right, you got this stone over here. I wanna buy it."
I want your rock.
And it's funny because everybody else is like, "It's do you want to buy this?" And he's like, "No." This guy, he's like, "No, I want to buy it." The guy's like, "All right, $100." And like Warlock freaks out. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, 75." And he's like, "It's worth 1,000 times more than that." So the guy's like, "Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let me think of a different
$50.
number." But the I'm trying not to say goblin, but the woman comes back in and is just like,
Well, no. She's
acting like
wait,
what,
wait.
Joe?
She's like, do not sell him the stone.
Oh, that's right,
He
yeah.
is evil.
yeah.
Yeah, she was thinking about quitting those subs. I don't know.
And he's like, excuse me 1 second. He's like, oh, you actually are psychic. Just picks her up and she's like,
She turns into a goblin.
just windmill
She turns
clawing
into
at
the
this man.
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah. And he, I'm just going to throw you in this Iron Maiden and juice
Which is
you.
real for some
Yeah,
reason.
just sticks her on the spikes, slams the other part of the lid on it. And he goes back just to talk to the guy like, I'm sorry, I just had to take care of that.
Yeah, don't bother by that.
Rightfully so, leveled up Clint Howard is fucks off. He's like, I'm going to run into my own maze of mirrors, which you would think I would know the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
think
you'd
I would also know not
yeah.
to do this.
You'd think you'd go into your own maze of mirrors knowing that you know the lay of the land, so it'd be an escape time.
Yeah. So Julian Sands now is like, all right, I said a bunch of things and just told the editor just to start putting random audio clips of me. I think one of them, he's just like, it was him like ordering a turkey sandwich. One of them, he was just like talking about the performance of his investments that year. Just a lot of words are being said.
He's reading his
It's not
audiobook.
scary.
Yeah.
It's like stuff he's just telling the director on.
Yeah.
He also there's a line about like when I look in a mirror, when I look into the mirror, I see a fool. And it's like, is
Well, no,
that
before that, he's saying when you look into a wise man, you see or when you look into a fool, you see a wise man. And then when I look in the mirror, I see a fool. So
what? Is that supposed to be like a joke or?
it's supposed to be a parable.
Sure.
A parable.
So he pulls this guy
Dang.
into the other side of reality.
Yeah, it's the
Sure.
upside down.
Also, you're probably just saying it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, here's the deal. Guess the stone. He's like, reach in your pocket.
What do I have in my pocket?
Pulls out 2 stones. He's like, guess the right stone. If you win, I let you
I got
live.
2 stones in my pocket.
And
for
if you get it wrong, you're trapped in here for eternity. And the guy's like, ha ha ha, you dumb bastard. I know my own stone when I see it. Never mind the fact that you
What?
can change reality at a whim. You probably made the one that I think is the real stone.
Because he has
Not.
the reality.
So he throws what he thinks is the fake stone to Julian Sands, which now, of course, is willingly giving it to him. So Julian Sands just leaves. And
And
leaves
also,
him.
like, no part of his like deal there was like, throw me the one you think is fake. It's just choose which one is fake.
And why do you? Why are you that certain you know the true one?
because
Doesn't make
he's an
sense.
asshat.
Yeah, and yeah, Julian doesn't leave. This guy leaves.
Yep.
He steps through the mirror like, ha, ha,
Yeah.
I'll see you. Like, why?
Yeah.
What? How do
Vanity.
you know you could do that?
He's
What?
his greed and vanity, man.
So
It's one of those sins or something.
Do not.
No, that's my
That
theory.
is not
man.
in this movie.
My hypothesis.
Yeah, it's
Vanity
wrong.
smart.
I just wrote in my notes, I do not understand what happened here. But the guy turns, like, he goes to leave. He thinks he stepped back through the mirror, and there's just stuff happening. There's like a mine cart of some sort. There's like some rocks, a statue. There's nothing scary. There's just a lot of things happening. And he freaks out like, no!
There are potentially scary things that happen there. I think at one point there's the puppet from the Fright Zone shows up, but I don't know where it is in relation to him or anything.
It's down the hall.
Yeah,
to the right.
it confuses me because I'm like, why did anyone spend time building this set? Like, what is this?
Again,
It's a hellscape.
I will tell you, it's well, sort of tell you, but this is again, we've cut things out for
Yeah.
sure. Because this is somebody was obviously like, I got this clever idea where he's going to trick this guy. What side of the mirror you on? Whatever. Isn't that clever? And then they shot it. They cut a bunch of stuff, and now it just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
And part of the reason I believe that there are other clues of things being cut, but I don't know if you noticed this, but some of the wax figures in their thing were real people.
Yeah.
They were straight up real people. I expected at some point, like,
It's
the war.
just cheaper to pay a real person than to make
That's
a wax
probably
figure.
true. That's probably entirely true. That's certainly a possibility,
I mean, yeah, because I would have thought they would just film
but
at
not.
a wax museum.
But not all of them. That's why, like, I kind of thought, like, oh, well, the Warlock's going to come in here and bring some of them to life to attack him or something. But it never happened. So either that is a weird cost-cutting measure,
Oh, I
very
see.
weird, or there was a whole scene cut out.
Or it was, hey, if you let us film at your wax museum,
well,
we'll let you have some of your weirdo employees that dress up like the dummies be in our movie.
He's like, I don't know about that.
having
They're
said
like,
that,
have you
though-
seen this jester dwarf that we have? Oh, deal, done.
having said that, though, and I've heard of this in other movies, and again, I'm not necessarily saying they did it the best way possible,
No,
but they may have intentionally put real people there to make it that much more creepy, because I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it. So if you're somebody like me that apparently doesn't see things the way normal people do, it just made that whole room a little bit more
Yes,
weird and
after the fact.
unsettling.
That is
yeah.
that is entirely possible, but again, it leads to the like,
Oh, yeah.
what the fuck
Yeah.
was this?
Good job.
Is it because also
want to go see
the
a horror movie so we can get scared later?
okay, also the other thing is the wax figures are not of a quality where you'd be like, oh, these real people fit in with them. It's like paper mache Mardi Gras head versus just a dude standing
That's my
there.
theory, is that they've filmed a lot of this probably in a warehouse that stores Mardi Gras parade shit.
I don't care.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fine. What else happens?
Oh, we get a crucial scene of watching two bad actors struggle with terrible dialogue.
oh,
John,
Get a movie with
why
that.
do I dream about daggers?
Why are there daggers?
Why are there daggers?
I don't know, because you're a weirdo.
Yeah, so Sam's at the lake talking
Explain it
about
to me.
dreaming about weird stuff, and then like Kenny's like, I can't explain it to you, and she's like, try, and he's like, oh, I gotta fight the son of Satan, and
My
she's
my
like,
dad
killed
killed
me
me.
My dad
earlier
killed me,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck you, and leaves. Well, but then it starts raining,
Yeah.
and you gotta so we gotta run to the bridge to
Yeah.
get out from the rain, and
First, also,
Yo.
she has a moment here, which I joked about it while watching this, but it is straight up on the same level as Jesse Spano's freak out.
oh yeah,
With
I'm
that,
so excited.
I'm so scared. Like, it's
Yeah.
that bad.
And like, someone better call Slayer because it's raining blood. They're just covered in blood for no reason.
It's only raining blood under the covered bridge.
Yeah, so Kenny's like, no, just stay here. You know, I can explain. And she's like, no, I'll rather just run through the blood rain than be with you. So,
Blood Rain, that's a fun.
oh, you want to talk about
No, I
premium
don't.
phoning it in.
No, I don't.
Michael Madsen literally makes the same face for that entire film. But anyway,
And
so
Ben Kingsley.
yeah, so now the
Well, I mean, you looked at his filmography.
you got Ben Kingsley
Yeah, but that-
on the cheap.
Yes, but this is a low for Ben Kingsley. That's saying something.
Anyway.
All right, back to this movie.
So
Yeah.
the man with the Asgard compass, Ethan, he shows up at the funhouse, looks in the Iron Maiden, and is like, ugh. And then, that scene's over, and now we're back to Kenny training, with his dad. His dad's like, hey, go start the grill. Kenny's like, start a forest fire? Okay.
Yeah.
I can
got
do
it.
that.
Lights a tree on fire. He's like, I'll go get the hose. I'm like, I
Lights
think you
like
got
the
a
whole freaking
Yeah.
canopy of it on
I think you
fire.
got a bigger problem than the garden hose.
Smokey the Bear launches out of the forest
Yeah.
like Cocaine Bear, just starts pummeling this man with his bear.
He looks at him, he's like, only you could go fuck yourself. Why'd you light that tree on fire?
Also,
hitting
you
him with
got
that
mind
shovel.
powers. Put it out.
Yeah.
Also, like, the trees are your friends, so you just lit one on fire.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Well,
about that? I don't know. I'll go
okay,
get the garden hose.
To be fair, they keep saying the trees are your friend, but they keep making fun of him.
Uh-huh.
Nothing the trees ever do in this movie indicate friendship,
Yeah.
even tolerance.
Now
They
we cut
ejaculate
to
on him
church,
at one
and the
point.
Reverend is he's planning a lynch mob of some
Not a
sort.
friend. It's not a thing friends do.
And you're like, oh, this is going to be interesting when they have to face the town. And then it cuts away from that. We're like, forget that subplot for now. And they go,
Well, this is also where we get scenes deleted Sally, who's like, I heard enough of your sermon, and I was like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
So this
What
is
is?
like a Wild West ghost town they live in.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Sunnydale
Rust
wasn't
Belt.
very populated at the time.
Mr. Travis is, he's like, I should probably check to see if we still have the dagger, the one thing that could kill the Warlock. Turns out they don't. Ethan has it. So he's like, fuck. Well, let's just worry about delaying the Warlock. We'll worry about killing him after the eclipse is over. Maybe God will help. I don't.
Or something.
Yeah. So speaking of that dagger, now Ethan with the Asgard compass, he walks into an elevator that just so happens to have a Warlock in it. And his compass is jiggling in an unacceptable manner. Like his pocket, like he's fapping in there. It's just like... And, the Warlock can't give a shit.
Yeah.
Two people get in the elevator. You're getting, like, the sounds of, like, floors passing. The tension's building up. Now, the sounds of the floor, like the ding, is getting louder and louder pitched. And Ethan is, like, taking forever to take the dagger out, take it out of
He's
the
not a
sheath.
warrior.
He's not a warrior.
He is definitely not a warrior.
Those
And
two
it's
people
just-
get out, they gonna fight.
So he goes to lunge at the Warlock, and in a span of about 2 seconds, the Warlock turns the elevator into like an Event Horizon scene.
Yes.
It's just covered in the blood of this man.
I like this part.
And
Yep.
the gore.
But I'm just like,
Yeah.
my
Meat
dude,
hanging from the ceiling.
Yep.
why are you coming at this dude with a dagger like up over your shoulder.
Yeah, just shiv his ass like
Yeah,
it's prison.
shiv 'em. Yeah.
That's why he's not a warrior.
Yeah,
Only
he's-
warriors have that kind of awareness of
sense,
how to.
yeah.
Now-
yes.
If this was the first movie and Redfern was here, Warlock's dead.
Oh,
The
yeah.
moment
yeah.
you gave him that dagger, he could be in a different time zone. He would have
He's a warrior.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
He would have
it's
killed the
fine.
two people who were in the elevator. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
get out of my way.
just whip that shit right between Julian
Cut
Sands'
to that
eyes.
alternate scene where he's getting out of the elevator and it still looks like Event Horizon. Like, that was the Warlock and those two other people.
Finally,
Don't
avenged my
ask.
love. That was not a
so-
good Scottish accent. Anyway.
Now the Warlock, he's just messed up the elevator.
Neither was his in the movie.
He's walking in to see this business guy, and his secretary's just like, sir. And he's like, shut up.
Excuse me. Doing
Have you
his
seen
job.
my red swing line stapler, please?
Yeah, it just edits her mouth off,
Yeah.
and shut up. And then whatchamacallit, he just walks into office, and this business guy is like,
It's got like a fucking museum for an
Yeah.
office. Like,
He's
what
like-
the fuck?
how did you get past my secretary? Why didn't she stop you? And
She's looking for new openings.
yeah. And so he's like, I want to see your red stone over here. And he's like, it's not for sale. By the way, I have a pistol. Warlock's like, oh, it's a shame because I thought you'd like to see it with its, the other pieces of the set. And the guy's like, oh, God, I do want to see that.
Exodia!
It's so bad.
You have more rock candy?
So they put the rocks down. The guy gets the stone out of its containment, or however Julian Sands says it.
Extracted from containment.
Yeah, and puts it with the other 4 stones. The guy's just like, whoa, it's incredible.
Now I have a big rock
Yeah,
in
he's
my
like,
pants.
I gotta have all of them. How much? And Warlock's like, all right, check it out. I'll give you the greatest piece of art in the world for that stone. This is totally not going to backfire on you like 5 seconds after I get that rock.
Weird guy who hasn't flinched
Yeah.
about a gun.
Yeah, who has all these other stones
Yeah.
and somehow got past my secretary and stuff. But there's nothing weird going on.
No,
here. Nothing
no.
at all.
Yeah.
Guy's not smart.
Also-
he's a billionaire.
Also,
so,
he
you
said
know,
he's going to give me the greatest piece of art that has ever been or whatever.
in his pocket.
So, yeah, obviously he has that on him right now and was going to produce it
Yeah.
immediately.
So I've seen Leprechaun, I've seen Wishmaster. You know where this scene's going.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, it takes a fun trip getting there, because he's like making faces and like Play-Dohing this guy's face, and the
Sculpting him.
guy's making all these weird faces, these bone-breaking sounds and whatnot, and he turns him into a Picasso, but it's not a Picasso because it's a Warlock. But he's like, no, it's definitely a Picasso. It's like, you made it, you know it's not a Picasso. But anyway. So
Vicissitude. It's
yeah.
what's for dinner.
it's this guy is this like horrible multicolored little statue with like his eyes and mouth on it,
and he's going,
yeah.
It looks like a prop for Pee Wee's Playhouse.
a colorful
A good
prop.
one, though, yeah.
And you're like wah wah, and now he has 4 stones, and now Sam is over at Mr. Travis's house looking at a photo album, sees that the Mr. Travis and the Reverend were both married, and their moms both died during childbirth.
Yeah, at the same time.
Same time.
You know how this scene started?
What's that?
Talking about Tony's hypothesis that this is cut stuff.
Yeah.
So Mr. Travis is just like, hey, Sam, look at this photograph. Sorry.
I can't
Every
defend
time I do, it makes me fap.
Okay. But yeah, again, it is kind of a just... We cut to
Mr.
her.
Travis, please stop.
She's looking at this
No.
this book of photographs.
Yeah.
I don't know whose house they're in.
I think that's
His.
Travis's house.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but then like when he finishes, he leaves, which is a
Well, yeah.
weird
Well, he
move.
wants to leave the room because she's starting to freak out.
Yeah.
And she telekinesis the door closed.
Telecanoodles.
And he's like, open the door.
That'd be a great
But
power.
yeah, also to add though to the probably deleted stuff, this seems like there was probably a seventh son of the seventh son kind of bullshit or whatever. Like they were both born on the same day, this is around the same time the parents died or whatever.
So we'll cut that out.
Brother and sister.
That
Instead-
could be too.
We'll cut that out
be
because
too.
instead we have to include Kenny sitting on an obviously green screen box, quote unquote, floating,
Yes.
then doing some
He
god awful.
sneezes and then falls.
Yep. makes friends with a squirrel,
Makes out with a squirrel.
makes out with a squirrel, then
It's an adorable squirrel.
does some horrendous CGI of like pulling apart someone's motorcycle and making the parts dance around.
Here's
That section reminded me of like an IKEA manual where it just shows you all of the symbols in one
Lawnmower
cloud.
Man.
Well, I'm pretty sure in the IKEA manual it's like no to the telekinesis. Like, you can't use that.
Do not do this.
Yeah, use the Allen wrench, not your mind.
Not the force.
Yeah, not the force. All right, so, and you're like, oh, that was kind of a whimsical scene. Cut to the Reverend looking out the church, steps on a cockroach. Suddenly there's like a billion cockroaches. He's like, no! Runs in the back. Sam's like, I'm one of them. I'm one of the warriors. You know, and he's like, I just wanted to ignore this and wanted us to be a happy family. And she's like, Dad, you gotta kill me. And he's like, no. She's like, fine, I'll kill myself. Stabs herself right in the chest.
And he's like, no, that's the wrong ritual. No.
Then wakes up after.
You can only do that with a shotgun.
Yeah, but I like the choice of the shot where she stabs herself in the chest and immediately wakes up on the table. I thought that was actually a cool
was
scene
good.
transition.
Oh, there are definitely some cool shots like that, or transitions and whatnot.
Are there?
There are.
I only think of this one.
So now the movie's like,
In the beginning, also, I think it, like, not great or anything, but like the just going up to the moon, to the fake moon on the like it's good. He has some good moments of doing something that he at least is trying to be clever. It may not always work.
so the movie's like, oh shit, there's probably some things we have to say in this throwaway scene to make it make sense later. They're like, all right, we
Little
have
did they know.
Yeah, we
Garden
have
Hill.
2 of the stones for whatever reason. Because the guy earlier. Also, bright lights will make this one stone mad and it'll stop the ritual.
You what?
So I was
When did that become a
explaining
thing?
this, Warlock rule,
That's
earlier.
the hangover stone.
and I was saying that because Satan can only come out of the ground during the dark, but the dark during the day, it was like one of those things where Rob, you all right?
Yeah,
Mouth to mouth.
I'm dead.
Okay.
Mouth to ass.
You gonna come
It's
back? as
it's
a
one of
warrior?
those things where like even God fucked up and was like, oh yeah, deal. If you can make really bright light appear during the day during an eclipse and hit these stones, then it'll be undone. And I'll do that in exchange for giving you these in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's
So
It's nonsense we threw in at the last minute to make something
That's
vaguely
it.
noticeable.
you want to talk about
Whatever.
some nonsense? We cut back to the General McClellan here with Julian Sands driving it now, looking at the map made from his mom's abs.
oh yeah.
And the map is just like it's just rotten meat, and he's like fumbling around like I don't know.
Turn the
I gotta turn it off and on again. I think I don't know.
If I slap it really
Where's
hard
the
against the side or
screensaver?
And then we just see random prostitute thrown out of a truck. She's like, "You
My-
bastard!"
My GPS has lost its signal.
Yeah,
Bet your
he's-
wife wouldn't let me do that. Like get thrown out of a truck.
So yeah, the warlock sees her and is like, "All right, that's how I'm gonna reboot my ab map."
something. Right.
And he gets her in the car, and the prostitute's just like, "Oh, hey, buddy, you gonna go see a girl? I don't mind. I'm gonna rub on your leg." And he's like, this like weird, unnecessary warlock sound to like push her hand away. And she's like, "Oh my god, I must look like a mess. It's my hair, isn't it? My hair's terrible. Oh, how do you like my hair?" And he's like,
Sir,
They
sir,
have the
is it
same
my hair,
haircut.
sir?
yeah. And this motherfucker just reaches over, grabs her, and just rips her entire scalp off. And he's like, "There, take a look at it." And she starts freaking out. I actually, the gore effects in this scene were quite impressive. Yeah. And she's sitting there with no scalp screaming, and he just fucking kicks her out of the moving vehicle.
Yep.
She just dies against the
Against the
California
sign, yeah.
sign. She slams into it, and he's just rubs her scalp on the raw meat ab map, and it turns back on, and is like, "Oh look, go to
It
California."
just needed a little moisturizer.
Yeah.
Raw Meat Ab Map by Garmin for your
Yeah.
best workout.
All right, so now Sam and Kenny are at this like random stone like summoning circle portal to hell thing that's in town.
It depends
Sure.
on who's
Yeah.
in charge.
Yeah, it's just there. And you
Every
know,
town has a hellmouth somewhere.
yeah, they're fucking around that at night, and the bully Adam or Alan or whatever his name was shows up, the Corey Feldman looking guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat your ass." She's like, "I'm gonna use the dark side of the Force to choke you." And Kenny's like, "Yeah, we shouldn't kill him." She's like, "Fine, just go home to your mom." And he runs away and leaves the truck there for, that'll be convenient later.
That's
then-
like pretty
and then-
much what he says when he shows up. Is like, I'm here to leave my truck for later. Bye.
Yeah.
And then she's like, thought we were supposed to use our powers to help people. And I'm thinking of like crush somebody's windpipe. Like,
Yeah.
They literally say like 3 or 4 random lines and then fuck. Like they're just saying things, but I'm like, nothing had any relation to anything else. And it's like, warriors would make love before battle.
yeah.
Which I
so
mean,
we should fuck.
Well,
in
don't worry.
times of antiquity, that was true. But
In the sequel, when they find out that they are in fact brother and sister, they retcon this by saying he came in his pants before they actually did it.
No, actually, he got her pregnant, and their baby is the new
That
son of
retarded-
Satan.
Retarded midget.
Oh,
there it is.
so,
There we go.
so yeah, and so now the trees start like
Shitting
It's
on
fall
them.
once they
shedding-
kiss. Yeah.
shedding leaves. Yeah, and it's like, oh, you're looking to fuck? Here, have some dead pieces of me falling out.
And ticks.
And like, he's using like his pants as a pillow and like her dress as a blanket, and they're like talking, and he's like, "All right, so I know both of us are supposed to fight this guy, but like you just take the stone and run.
Because you're a girl.
You're a girl.
You're a girl. I'm the
And
strong
I don't
man.
want you to get hurt. Also, this warlock is gonna fuck me up."
Which
And possibly fuck me.
I get that's it's sexist or whatever, but at the same time, it's not a bad plan.
Well, they already went over that before. He's like, why can't I just run? Why do I have to fight? Because he's the fucking warlock. He's going to find you.
He can make
Yes.
maps out of abs. He'll find you.
He's going to find you, but at the same time, as we found out, he's got limited time left. If you
Yeah.
get far enough
Yeah.
away, doesn't
Yeah.
matter if he'll find
If she
you.
had just kept going
Yeah.
on the motorcycle.
Yeah,
She-
like he'll catch up with you in a day or two.
You
but
ain't
Satan
outrunning
coming
a-
back till another millennia.
That warlock's high on kid fat.
Well,
He ain't
yeah.
outrunning him.
Fair enough.
So now the warlock arrives in town, and he meets
Going over there.
he meets the random lady that you're like, this. She probably was supposed to be important, but is not anymore.
Yeah, this is another.
He's like, "Oh, you'll announce my arrival. I'll go reverse crucify you upside down by the church."
This does
Telling ya.
this does feed into Tony's
Yeah. As scenes deleted
scenes
Sally.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably supposed to be a lady druid or something.
well, my hypothesis was that it might have been like the second wife of the pastor. And how do you keep being a druid with a secret underground
Oh.
druid layer secret?
I don't think of the pastor, definitely not, because like there's it's
No?
No, because they have too much of a weird connection between the two of them. But like when we first see
Well, I thought it
whatever
was,
Mr.
like-
Travis.
His second wife, now ex second wife.
Oh, maybe.
Why are
I
we
don't know.
postulating on deleted scenes? When
Yeah,
we have
anyway.
so much bullshit to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we see just
This podcast that needs to leave
shadows of like a hammer hammering something, and then it cuts to the next day. No one's in town. They're all at the church because this lady has been crucified upside down, and they're like, "Oh, Reverend, you're protecting those Satanists, witchcraft, blah blah blah." And I'm gonna name this town All Talk because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Fucking Kenny shows up, floats a magic baseball around them, and not even in a threatening manner, just like, "Look at the baseball, it's moving," and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Can't do this.
They are
No, they are
Satanists.
witches.
Yeah, but not
We
only
are
that, but
powerless to stop
the
that.
fact that who knows how long they were all just standing there staring
Yes.
at this
Yeah.
dead person. Like
Not just a dead person, a person that was crucified
Did
upside
anyone-
down in front of the
Did
church.
anyone call the cops?
no,
Or-
they don't have any cops.
Yeah.
They don't call the cops. They don't call an ambulance. They don't seem to check
The
to see if
sheriffs,
she's alive. They
they
don't
have-
cut her down.
They have one sheriff, and he's on vacation this week.
Yeah.
It really, yeah, it is just like.
He's
That's
the sheriff from Hot Fuzz.
like I guess.
No one will probably get this, but Buck Flowers in the audience. I imagine he is their sheriff.
Well, is so the guy that directed this? Is he like? Does he do video games? Because these are all just
don't believe
NPC
Yeah.
characters. Is what they are.
Say the same 3 lines of dialogue over and over.
They just stand there staring.
So, Meanwhile, we cut to the Warlock has just gone ahead and edited himself right into their like sanctum, and he's got Frank's up against the wall, and he's like, "Give me the stone." And Frank's like, "You'll never get the stone. Give me the stone." And then he's like, "I will dismember you, and then I could take the stone that way." That seems like an easy way around the rules.
Gravity
falls-
gave it to him.
Yeah, when it falls out of your hand and into mine.
That does not
That's
count
not
as
how it
willing.
works.
Yeah, he said give it willingly.
That's-
I'm pretty sure if you cut his tendon so he can't hold on to it anymore,
If
that's
there
not
are-
willing.
If there are rules to this whole thing, like he had it in his hand when he was in his possession when he died.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, he can't give it to anyone, even if he drops it. It doesn't count.
But he's not
Well,
dead yet.
Well, yeah, technically he it's not
But
in
he
his
didn't
position when he
give
died,
it.
but
He dropped it.
yeah.
It's not, find
Well, that-
these keepsies.
Again, that goes back to earlier because you guys were talking about the whole like whatever he shoves his fingers in her head and makes her talk with Daddy's voice or whatever. But like it's after Satan is
He's not lying. He's
Yeah.
he
Search
is
that.
correct.
Search
It's
that
after
phrase.
Satan says, "Here are the rules. They have to give him willingly." That's when he takes the bloody hand and goes swipe like a cat and grabs it off her neck. Like, so did she give it willingly?
Bob,
No.
the rules are more like guidelines.
Yeah,
know,
it's whatever works for the scene.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
All right, so he's got the
I wanna-
fifth stone.
I want everyone
By the
listening
way,
to stop listening to this right now. Go Google fingers her ears and makes her talk Daddy's voice.
I haven't fact checked this,
Right.
but I believe Warlock means oath breaker. So if there are rules,
I believe that doesn't mean anything because he's not a warlock.
And also, you can't choose.
He's a witch.
You can't choose to break the invisible rules. I assume the invisible rules have to be followed, or else whatever you're trying to do doesn't work.
So this movie has been building up that we're going to see two warriors fight a warlock.
oh yeah,
And I knew it was going to be weird, and it was going to be kind of tragic to watch. I did not expect the opening salvo of this fight would be I threw the axe telekinetically across the room at Mr. Franks to kill him, to save him from you being a dick
bleeding
to
to
him.
death or something. Yeah,
And then your opening move is going to be blowing me through the fucking building and right onto a metal pipe and impaling me there
Yeah.
for like the rest of the movie almost.
Set
And, like,
match.
Smart move.
yeah, I mean it's super effective, but I was hoping they would fight a little bit first.
Oh, they did.
But so
About
now
3 milliseconds.
yeah, the warlock comes outside and Kenny tries to light him on fire. He's like, "Dude,
I've been to hell.
let me talk to you about Cheetle dust. You want to do fake fire? I could do fake fire.
Oh
You know,
boy.
and so
This effect was better than when his mama's belly caught fire. Because that was literally like an animated GIF of fire they just placed in the
but
vicinity. of
here's
where
the
that
thing.
It's like saying better is, well, it went from an F to an F plus.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like,
Here's the thing. This movie came out in 1993. And I know we've talked, we said, we're not going to, compare it to Jurassic Park because that's just not fair.
right,
There's
this is
like
a very
$6 million.
low-budget movie, so-
Yeah, there's $60 million difference. But you know what did come out by this point?
Lawnmower Man.
That was not.
That would
better.
not help the situation, even if that is true. But Star Wars was out. Moonwalker was out. The Michael Jackson video, like those both have better special effects than everything in this movie.
so
But this
It's a
did
problem.
have Michael Jackson whip cracks.
It did.
don't worry. These effects are about to get more special. So they're now I can't tell if it was the warlock or Kenny or maybe both of them were like, "I want to hit you with this car." But then the warlock's like, "No, I'm definitely going to hit you with this car." So Kenny's trying to pop the tires, but the car's still coming towards him. So then Kenny uses the telekinesis on a manhole cover to stop the car with that.
He
and-
rolled like a critical success on that because
Yeah.
the manhole cover does not just stay there.
So
No, yeah,
the warlock's
Turn
like,
it into a barrier.
It's mind powers. It's all.
well, yeah.
that was a
It
nice.
also doesn't lift itself.
Well, yes, but like he's incapable of doing virtually anything, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop a car with a manhole
Yeah,
cover.
I can do what I need to when I need to.
That's exactly how both him and Sam fight.
Ray
Yeah,
Skywalker.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
now he's like, "That was a nice move. Too bad it's going to be your last." But then like Dad and the Reverend are like, "Hold on one second, Warlock.
we're coming.
we're
We're
we'll
shuffling
get
on
there
over."
eventually." just stand in perfect range so he can blast you through the fucking window with these double-barreled shotguns.
So that we can actually put the shotguns together.
Oh, yeah,
or,
yep.
or whatever it is that's it's not cocked. Like, is that cocked for a shotgun?
No, it's you break it apart and then snap it back together.
Yeah, so
Loading
we'll
it.
snap it together, then shoot you
Yep.
as close
So-
as possible.
In other words, we walked out of the building completely unprepared, and we waited till we were like 3 feet away to
So-
be prepared.
Or they
War-
talked about how badass they were going to make it look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Warlock's tragic flaw is he's constantly saying, I want to see where this goes. So he's like, I want to see where they're going with this. So they blast him through a window. He's like, okay, I don't know. I'll just blow the roof off the building, fly up there.
And sure enough, they haven't even started reloading.
Oh, they're dropping shells on the ground. They're fumbling around.
Peeing
And he's
their
like,
pants.
check this out. See these stairs over here that we green screened out? I'm going to walk out them. You want some inappropriate sound effects while I'm walking down them?
Yeah.
Sure. Like, everything about this sucks. But they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing it. I can't use my gun or
Oh
reload.
my God, it's a mirage.
Yeah. Oh, and then he's like, oh, while we're doing invisible things, here's an invisible 6-shooter.
Sabotage.
Guns these two down with nothing.
Finger bangs.
Mind bullets.
Mind
Yeah,
bullets.
He does finger bang.
Also, sorry, I forgot to bring this up
That's
before.
telekinesis, Kyle.
But just for all of you to ponder, I could not back this up, but some sources have said that Frank Welker is in some way involved.
His name's in the credits.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
Who's
did
Sam
all.
Welker?
It said what?
Who's
Frank
Sam
Welker.
Frank.
He's
Oh, I thought you said-
he's the voice of everything.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
okay.
any animal sound effect is probably Frank Welker.
He
In
probably
this
did the
house,
squirrel.
primarily Megatron from the 80s cartoon.
Mm.
He voiced
But-
the hairball fetus that Julian's.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
did you
very
notice what
probably.
he actually was credited for?
Special voice effects.
Okay, so yeah,
Could have been
anything. Could be anything.
The
Okay,
Gunshots.
So
yeah, because I was generally
vehicles.
wondering, like, was he actually in this, or did someone just be like heard enough growling and shit and was like, Frank Welker must be doing it there somewhere?
He's probably the voice of Satan.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought, but like there is someone else credited as Satan, so I don't know if that's for the body, the voice. They could be separate things. Who knows? Again, this movie is very sparse on details.
So Warlock here walks over to Kenny, who's been impaled this whole time on the ground, and just jiggles the pipe. He's like, "Where's the stone?
Oh,
Where's the
he
stone?"
heats it up. You could hear it
Yeah.
crackling.
And he like rips his shirt to see if he's wearing it on a necklace. And then Sam's like, "You want the stone? Come get it. I'm on a motorcycle. I'll drive away." And he's
I'll
like,
give it to you if you catch me.
he's like, "Oh man,
You
you
are
don't know
stupid."
nothing about fake flying. Check this out." And you thought you thought he was swooping around last film. Oh man, now it's in broad daylight. You can literally see the fucking wires in some of these
You can
shots.
like hear the slide whistle.
Yeah.
He's like powdered toast, man, flying backwards.
So
What?
Never mind.
she rides a motorcycle off and like, you know, she's all like looking behind her shoulder and driving really dangerously through the woods. He's just in a tree like, I'll just let this happen. Yeah, she's going right to the summoning circle where I'm going to go.
She's driving off road, maybe 20 miles an hour.
Off road through
Like-
the trees towards this guy's intended destination.
Yeah, it's just like
I hate her so much.
So he's like, well, you know, what the hell? Let's put a little flair on this. He cuts her off with a pointless backflip through the air.
girl.
It lands in front of her, and she's like, the awesomeness of it just knocks her off the motorcycle. And she's crawling away on the ground, and he's like, and she's like, oh, just don't look at that tree branch that's shaking like crazy up there. And he's like, I won't. And then the tree branch breaks loose and impales him. He's like, oh.
You got me.
She's like, you don't look so tough right now. He's like, how do I look with this tree branch just morphing through me like I'm the T-1000?
Already out at this point.
What's that? Yeah, already out. Yep. So,
Not as good. Not as
yeah. So now he's like, I'm older than the trees. I'm older than this rock that I'm going to push on you. Did anyone
this
see?
large foam
So
rock.
he puts his hand against the rock
On
and
the
just
side.
makes it tip over. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the side, like not even push it. But did you see the other guy on the other side of the rock? Because he's
I did not.
He's clearly visible.
Okay.
The man that's actually tipping the rock over is like right in the shot.
I also saw. I think it's like part of the camera rigging or whatever when she makes the rock explode. Like it's still coming down on her. You can see there's like
You can see
pieces
a
on the
piece
sides.
on the side. Yep.
All right, so she blows the rock up as it's falling towards her.
Ray Skywalker.
And he's like, all right,
Love
you
the
block
sound of
that
drum,
attack.
don't you?
What I'm going to do is attach obvious wires to you and have them pull you across the set to slam your ass through the window of this pickup truck. Don't worry, we'll make your dress pop up so, your panties come out. And
Well, to be well,
that would happen if she's flying through there
yes,
anyway.
but it is also like a you started calling yourself a warrior. Maybe put on some pants. Just saying.
You might want to dress for the occasion. But
Warriors can wear skirts.
They can, but then they're
can,
going
but
to
it's
splash
happens
their
to them.
panties
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
That's.
I mean, this
how it
isn't
goes.
even really this is like it's a nice little sundress that she's
yeah.
wearing.
Yeah.
It's not
Alright.
like
So
She might as well be fighting in her nightgown.
Yeah.
she's just wearing like normal underwear. It's not. Like,
I mean, if you,
Well, yeah,
if
I'm
you
just-
overheat and you're wearing a sundress, you don't have to worry about sweating.
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't even want to take the tumble from the motorcycle she did in just a sundress like that. That sounds like a bad idea. Let alone fight the son
All
of
of
Satan.
this was a bad
so
idea.
what was the point of dying to become a warrior?
Well, so that
I
you
guess
can't
that's-
get dead again.
that unlocks the power.
Yeah, their power
Well,
manifested.
Many of them have died.
No, only the warriors.
Well, yeah, they're special chosen ones. Although I did wonder when they we're somewhere around this point, but like they're when he's got the pipe through him, they're like, oh, "We're gonna die, but we can still help you heal." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"You might have, maybe you should have thought of that before you put that axe through your buddy's
Yeah.
chest
He
earlier."
didn't know.
That's true. Kenny is being healed, but he's taken forever to get here.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't take the pipe out of his
Yeah.
chest first.
That's right.
Still
They're
a
like-
heal.
He's like, guys, it won't close.
Yeah.
Fucking
it's
pipe.
like
I gotta
Dark-
make you mad first.
It's like Dark Souls when you get toxic. You just keep healing yourself, but not actually using an antidote.
So now he uses parts of the pickup truck to like tie her up, and it's solar
King
eclipse
East style.
time. He's like, check this out. He unbuttons the top of her dress so you can see a bit of her bra, snatches the stone from her on her necklace,
Like a cat.
and then he jiggles all 6 stones and rolls them like die, and they just fly into where they need to be on the pedestal.
Natural 20.
And yeah,
Whoa.
again, literally, apparently doing this in the nick of time, or maybe causes it. I don't know, but like suddenly the eclipse comes, and
It
by
doesn't just come.
by eclipse, I mean they
comes all over the
slowly
place.
put a day for night filter over the screen.
Oh, but that moon comes over the sun real fast. It's just
yeah.
like whoop.
You were talking about tone changes, like just really sudden tone changes. This is a sudden tone change.
You want
can
bad-
see the tone changing.
Yeah, to the brown now.
You want bad CGI? It got bad CGI. These stones
Oh,
are
it's coming.
whipping around all over the place.
God.
Kenny comes out and just hits like lightning bolts and zaps him. And zaps him so hard. And then he's immediately like, I'm not going to stop anything. I'm just going to yell Sam and then get bound to a tree like Evil Dead style.
Yeah, also, I'm not gonna run to you. I'm gonna slowly walk.
Yeah.
And just
He
The
needed
second
his badass
time.
moment.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of wind. It's gonna get like sand and dirt in his hair, like
And he
he's-
hates sand. Yeah, I know. But yeah, and the second time, like I am a warrior. I'm here to fight this guy. Immediately gets blown up, pipe through the chest. They're like, I'm back. They saved me. I'm here to kick your ass. I shot you with a lightning bolt. Immediately tied to a tree. Like he is the shittiest
Yeah.
warrior
You
ever.
killed Kenny.
Luckily, the Warlock is super consumed by pride because he's like, I want you guys to see this, see Satan pop out. And Satan starts showing up. He's
yeah,
he's a
it's
Satan
definitely
ghost.
A show worth waiting for.
Yeah, he's
It's something.
it's like a white chalk outline of Satan.
Yeah, it's like a
crawling
bad
out of here.
80s music video where
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
like do the outline of people.
There's also this weird effect where like a tear in reality forms and like a sky beam is shooting out of that. But from the direction they're filming it, it looks like Julian Sands is just like fading away, or like
Yeah.
parts of him are disintegrating.
Yeah, and like
It's a tearing
he
a hole
needs
in the
the-
fabric
the-
of space time.
the stones are floating. It's
yeah.
tearing a hole in space time. It's
Yeah.
opening the Earth's butthole to the Earth. It's sending a beam to the moon or
Satan's
down
sphincter.
from the moon. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's actually going to an orbital spaceship where the rings come to. Oh, wait, that's a different franchise.
So
Whatever.
Kenny's like, wow, I never noticed how sweet that Andy's pickup truck is. Oh, I could turn the headlights on. So he's
You can't,
focusing
'cause
on
you
that.
Suck.
Now, I know Kenny's been through a lot. He's been impaled and whatnot, but generally, when you want to portray your hero as effective, you probably shouldn't coat his entire upper lip with boogers while he's screaming. It's like you can't help but look at. You're like, dude, you gotta wipe your nose, like bad, like
I
real
can't.
bad.
I'm bound to a tree.
I don't
by
mind
this
that you're
sadist.
covered in blood, but just those boogers are grossing me out. So finally, he's like, Sam, help me turn the lights on. I'm not strong enough. She does. He's like, welcome to the 20th century, asshole. The truck's headlights turn on. Satan's like, oh, fuck.
Not headlights.
Yeah.
He's like, cancel everything. No, we'll wait 1,000 years. Fuck it. I'll go back down. Let's turn the eclipse off. Whatever.
I never should have let you humans build these things.
It's literally like Gizmo. Fucking,
Yeah.
bright light, bright light.
You know what's interesting though? The lightning bolt that he did before, it did drop the stones. So you just kept lightning bolting. You know.
Who knows?
There's a lot of things. This also apparently proves that, like, this whole time, I don't know why they fucked with any of these stones other than this one. Just put it in front of a fucking, a light, or you're done. You're good.
So
Keep it in a lantern.
Satan's foiled by 8 headlights, and now the warlock's
They are
just
bright headlights.
slumped over the stone altar like he's dead. Kenny's like, all right, well, I'm still tied up. Let me assess what I'm doing here. Suddenly, Julian Sands out of nowhere just walks inside the frame, grabs his fucking scalp, and just slams his head against the tree a bunch of times. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, this was kind of awesome.
But then, and he gets the dagger out that Ethan had that he's like, oh, this is, made with metal from the Holy Grail. Probably the one thing that could kill me.
It's made from metal from the bullets in Roger Rabbit.
I'm gonna, glare at you for a while and make like I'm gonna cut your heart out or
All
whatever.
sexy
And
like.
really enjoy this. Kenny's just like, fucking headbutt you right in the goddamn nose. He's bleeding black blood.
Kenny Noggins.
Yeah, Kenny Noggins him. And then now,
Well done.
All right.
I would have preferred for this telekinetic dagger battle
Oh,
if
boy.
there was just a man in a green suit
Yes.
running back and forth holding the knife.
Yes.
Like, not even green screen it, just man in green suit. But no, this CGI telekinesis dagger battle.
Get the
Oh
guy
my
from
god.
behind the boulders.
You could have had a guy in a ghillie suit with a knife on a stick, just kind of going like.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Almost as good as the Purba battle in the Shadow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but my first thought was I think this is worse. But maybe it's just because I've forgotten enough about the Shadow.
So
But you could tell how hard they're struggling by the Warlock with his weird finger movement and Kenny with his being strapped to the tree.
I could tell by the way that thing was floating around that it belonged in Night Trap and not in this movie.
So, oh man, this Julius Sands. I'm not Julius Sands. You got me doing it wrong. Julian Sands. He makes a hell of a face during this battle. And then Sam's like, oh yeah, I'm here too. I'll help. And the dagger flies into the warlock, stabs him, and he's like, oh, now we're going to blow the whole practical effects budget on me melting. Arguably, probably overall, the best effects in the movie. It's not great, but it's
But it's
fun
the
to
best
watch
effects
this
in the
dude
movie.
like melt and whatnot.
Some of the best stuff is him getting birthed and him getting dead.
Yeah.
Like that.
He returns to the state in which he emerged to the world. Like he like all his flesh falls off and he sinks down and melts into goop. And Kenny and
And the dog comes. No.
Sam get that'd be great if the Pomeranian flew back out of them. So they get free of their binds. He melts and he just like sinks into the ground. And they're like, okay, I guess we won. And she's like, oh wait, I should get the stones.
Yeah, because they always forget about the fucking
Grabs
stone.
all the stones.
Yeah.
And then
Which
Kenny's
It's
like,
the slowest
Yeah.
freaking process.
We watch her pick each individual stone. And it's like,
like, here's one.
Two,
She's been
three.
concussed several times.
he's like, hey, there's one on the ground over there by that jump scare. And like, yeah, the
slowly
skeletal
reach forward.
hand of the warlock pops out. He's like, you ever
Oh,
seen
no,
Carrie?
no.
What?
No, she grabs it.
Well, yeah.
She picks it up.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, oh, no jump scare.
Now-
We're not that
Yeah,
corny.
The skeletal hand of the warlock pops out and asks her if she's ever seen Carrie, and then pulls the stone down. And Yeah, so they're like, okay, well, we got 5 of them. That's good enough.
See you next time.
He's
dad's
like,
dead,
do you like
your dad's
Megadeth? And
dead.
she's like, I don't know. Is that, how about like a half price butt version of Megadeth? She's like, all right, play it.
No, that sounds terrible. Too bad.
And oh man, this theme song, Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's prime butt metal.
Now, did you guys watch all the way through the credits?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So you missed it where the devil comes in and picks up the gauntlet and says, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
I saw that.
All right, and thus the movie ends.
Woo!
Yay! Tony, read things.
Play us out.
So yeah, on RottenTomatoes.com, critics have not given this a score.
Critics declined to participate.
Well, again, interestingly enough, from what I saw, there are some reviews. Not a lot, but there are some, which means the overall rating from critics is averaging out to 0%. Audience gave us a whopping score of 41%. That's their thoughts and opinions. How about you and yours, Rob, before you die?
You know what? I'm actually going to give this the tiniest of recommends in that it did just manage to like tip over the hill of so bad it's good. It's by a thread though. Yeah, the movie's not super boring. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make a lick of sense. But like the deaths are all silly. Julian Sands is eating the scenery, and every actor is just awful. So yeah, that's where I'm.
Joe.
I did enjoy it. It was fun. Like Rob said, like the acting's atrocious. The special effects are bad, but they're fun bad. There's a lot of times where I was just like, whoa, that's really what you chose to go with. But I'm laughing. So it brought a smile to my face a bunch of times. That being said, I would say it is a far step from the first one, and I would watch the first one again. And this one, I would say you watch this once and you're done with it. I felt this was a lot more formulaic, and the first one had some kind of charm to it. Probably a lot to do with the character of Redfern as well as the Warlock, where you had two people spouting innate bullshit, like, and it was like they were just making this up as it went, but it somehow worked. This one, like, I didn't care at all about the two warriors or or anybody but the Warlock. Also,
you had two actors in the same movie as opposed to Julian and then whatever the fuck else was happening.
Yeah, and this one, it's like the protagonist and the antagonist meet at the very end of the movie, and you're just like, when you see the Warlock on the screen, you're like, all right, he's going to do something brutal to somebody, but you're like, okay, he's going to trick them to give them the stone or promise them something that's obviously going to be fatal to them. So it was fun, but I feel like that fun would not be present for a second watch. So I'm still going to recommend it, but only once. And I would say definitely watch the first one. If you could only watch one of them, watch the first one.
Count that as a light recommend. John.
Exactly what Joe said.
All right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I do think this is so bad it's good. It's certainly not something you need to revisit a lot, even if some of us here already do. But I threw myself off again. Jesus. It's fun. It's fun enough. It does drag at points. But the best thing I will say for this movie is now like my shining go-to thing of like practical versus special effects, because all the practical effects in this are, they vary in quality, but there are good ones, there are bad ones, but they hold up. But the CGI already looks like complete and utter dog shit. It's so bad, but it does make this fun. So yeah, it at least has that special place in my heart. But now let's go to our Warlock expert here, Brick.
I mean, I liked this movie more than the first one. I won't go into all of the details why I like this movie. I could go on and on. I did realize while I was watching it the fourth time that it's kind of like an allegory. It's like the sand trap. What's the movie with the baseball?
Sandlot.
Sandlot, yeah, the Sandlot movie.
Because that has a baseball. in
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
it's like
Same
a
exact
coming of age thing, and like getting close. No, I'm bullshitting. It's just it's entertaining. That's really all it is. I do recommend.
Yeah, I will say that was.
Well, everyone can relate to the coming of age story, the time when your dad murders you.
Yeah. You start making a baseball float around and setting trees on fire.
Tells you you're destined to fight the son of Satan. I mean, I think that actually was John's coming of age story, but no one else is.
That was something I left out though. Yeah, the first one I think is technically a better movie, but this one I think is almost more enjoyable. So I don't know. It's kind of back. I feel like it's almost like Terminator versus Terminator 2.
Like there was nothing like Redfern, and I had a lot of fun with him.
Oh yeah, he is great, but so much of the rest of that. Anyway, that's my opinion.
I'd still take that whatever Cassandra or whatever her name was, the diabetic redhead with the triangle hair over our two main
Sammy.
our two main protagonists in this film.
Sammy, I'm sure she's a wonderful person, but so that seems like enough people that we will be recommending Warlock: The Armageddon from 1993.
Yeah.
Played a video game.
Yeah, there's a video which exists in real life.
Don't do that.
So always have 2 pennies in your mouth
Yes.
to protect from evil spells, and carry a hammer and nails with you. And if you ever meet anyone with long blonde hair wearing all black, take off their shoes and nail their footprints.
Also,
That's true.
if you ever go out into the woods, make sure you bring a compass with at least 1 cockroach in it.
Yeah.
So you can find your way home.
Made in Asgard.
Or
Yes.
Just in case you get.
Either or.
But anyway, what else we got for the people, Rob?
Well, guys, it is that spoopy time of year where ghosts and little goblins come out.
Get put in Iron Maidens.
So we did this scary movie, so let's do another one. We're gonna do our Halloween class. What is it called? October.
That was great.
And we're going with the spoopy Halloween classic, Poltergeist.
We are going with the classic, right?
Oh, is there a new one? Well,
And not the TV show, right?
we'll do the new
We're
one.
just gonna watch 3 hours of Ghost Hunters.
Yeah. Ghost Adventure. We're gonna watch Mountain Monsters. The first 6 seasons.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's one where Bigfoot diaries.
That's gotta
Anyway,
be the worst because it's gonna get in your fur. It's
we're gonna
really
watch another
matted.
movie with a midget in it.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
But this one I like, so and can act.
That other one got what she deserved.
Yeah.
According to Rob.
She was a goblin.
Do not listen to Rob. He is evil.
Act like
The
a
views
goblin.
and
die
opinions
like
of
a
Rob
goblin.
do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the Foreign Podcast.
What I'm saying is, join us next time for the Poltergeist. Bye.
Adios, everyone.
Bye bye.
Go to hell.
Good night.
I welcome my lord.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.